Welcome in to the On Texas Football watch with us. My name is Jerry Hamilton, joined by Bobby Burton. Aaron Hogan having some connection issues. He'll be with us here probably at the end of the first quarter. It's game time. I'm not sure I'm going to get to see the start of the game. We're going to see Diego Pavia, by the way, really good player for Vanderbilt. We're going to see Vanderbilt has one play left, 16 seconds to go. Then they're going to attempt a field goal and win it, Bobby. But here we go. Season's here. Bobby's got a cup of coffee. He's ready to roll. What are your thoughts, Bobby Burton?
My initial thoughts are that it was absolutely a great time out at the stadium today. We had, not only did we have a great time at the tailgating, went and saw a couple different folks. A lot of people came up and said hi. We really love it. Able to hand out a ton of koozies to people. You know, just a fun time. It's what game day is all about at the University of Texas, in my opinion. And I'm excited for what we're going to do today. I mean, we got just a bunch of stuff going on, guys. That should be a lot of fun for all of us. And, you know, my hope in this is that we get to see a Texas team and a Texas program that establishes itself in 2024. And when I say establish, I mean reestablish. I mean the whole 9 yards. So I'm hopeful.
The captains for today's game, per somebody in the stadium, neither Bobby or I are in the stadium, obviously. Jahdae Barron, Kelvin Banks, Qunn Ewers, Barron Sorrell. Those are your four captains for the game today. Game time, here we go. Vanderbilt trotting out to Mr. Taylor wearing 88, looking at about a 43, 44-yard field goal to beat Virginia Tech and upset them. And we need Vanderbilt to make this kick so we can get started here on ESPN on time at 2:35. So, look, this is the biggest kick of Taylor's career, especially with the On Texas Football audience. So, you got to bring it, Taylor. And Virginia Tech's going to call a timeout. Good thing is you can't call two in a row anymore. Everything that Bobby mentioned, everything that could have gone happened to make this game run longer has happened. I mean, even the long snapper for Virginia Tech guy, poor guy, lost his knee and had to be carted off the field in the last punt. But we are, yes. Hey, Todd Lacey, Diego Pavia is dangerous in winter. I totally agree. That kid's a good football player. That alone, Vanderbilt's got to keep him healthy before the Texas game because they have Alabama, Kentucky, and somebody else on that before Texas. But that guy's the best quarterback Vanderbilt's had in a while. He gives them a chance to move forward.
You know, it's a run pass option with him.
Yeah.
Which is what, you know, they need that extra man to create a possibility in the run game, in my opinion. And so I think that's huge to your point, Jerry. We will see what happens otherwise. But look, you know, I feel like Vanderbilt's going to be one of those teams that if they win this one, we'll see what they do. I think they have Missouri and Kentucky before they have Texas.
And Alabama. And he missed it wide right.
Oh, Jerry, this hurt me. What does that say that's going to happen now with the Texas game?
Yeah, who has the ESPN app? Because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to see the start of the
game. I've got the ESPN app. Hold on a second. I should have it.
I'm in a hotel, so I don't have it.
Oh, boy.
Okay, we're on ESPN News, guys. So ESPN News is going to have the Texas game. So if you're watching this, go to ESPN News, and they are here's the they're on air now. So we're going to get the start of the game on ESPN News, and we'll move back to ESPN after Virginia Tech luckily beats Vanderbilt in overtime.
Just 1 second, guys. I'm getting mine set up.
Hey, by the way, I thought the crowd being down on Bevo Boulevard, it was awesome today. Better than last year for the Rice game, as it should be. Coming off a playoff season, going to the SEC. Texas fans, you guys were awesome on Bevo Boulevard at the tailgates today. Had a blast with all of you. Here we go. We're getting this thing ready here on ESPN News. I'm waiting to see here. They're talking about Qunn Ewers on the telecast. People still filing into the stadium here. But it was a great turnout on Bevo Boulevard. Great. And Texas wins the toss, or Colorado State won the toss and deferred. I'd had Silas Bolden for the first touchdown. Is it going to be a kickoff return? Or is Matthew Golden going to get this one? We'll see. It's Matthew Golden and DeAndre Moore back on the kickoff return. But we're getting ready for Colorado State to kick the ball here to Texas. Texas won. I believe they Colorado State won and deferred. So we are underway, Bobby Burton. Kick us away. 1.5 yards deep. It's going to be returned. Matthew Golden got a knack for this stuff. Stays on his feet. Gets away from a couple of blockers. Good return. Matthew Golden, look, Matthew Golden is like a running back as a kickoff returner, guys. He's kind of got that strong lower trunk. People tend to bounce off him. He has great balance. So he took it out from 1.5 yards deep. That was a good physical return from Matthew Golden, Bobby.
Yeah, he probably was probably ill-advised to take that out, Jerry. Right? Like, so he was ill-advised to take that out. But the fact that he did and made something of it, good for him. But here we go.
First snap, Qunn Ewers swing pass, Jaden Blue caught at the 20, breaks a tackle out to the 37, 41, 42-yard line, gain of 16. DeAndre Moore is going to be an asset in the blocking game, guys.
Hand me the remote, buddy. Thank you. All right. Jerry, I tell you what, you knew they were going to use Jaden Blue. Hey, DeAndre Moore with a really good block on that play, by the way.
Absolutely.
Key block.
RPO, Isaiah Bond, outside, another first down, 13-yard pass, easy pitch and catch from Qunn Ewers to Isaiah Bond. Good job. Good to get Isaiah Bond involved early, get his confidence. Remember, he got off to a slow start in the spring game. Get his confidence going. Texas already on the Colorado State plus side of the field. This whole game, if Colorado State can't generate pressure with their front, we got a false start on Hayden Connor. If Colorado State cannot generate push and pressure with their front four, they are in deep trouble in this game.
You would think that Texas wanted to mix in the run there, but Hayden Connor false starts. I think I like the what Stark's doing here. He's getting Qunn used to some action, short passing game, right, Jerry? Before he goes intermediate, just to get him ready and going. But let's see what happens here.
Little inside zone there to Jaden Blue, a couple of yard gains, so it's going to be 2nd and 13 coming up.
That's the play that Sark was talking about. He would have much rather if that would have happened on first, that there be no false start, and they could have been 2nd and 8 instead of 2nd and 13. This is exactly what he was talking about in the preseason, not wanting, Jerry.
Yeah, Sark tempoing it up a little bit here early. I like it. Qunn Ewers down the field. High and away for Gunnar Helm. So we're going to have a first third down of the season. It's going to be a 3rd and 13. Let's see. Somebody asked about starting Jerome S. starting wide receivers today. Matthew Golden, Isaiah Bond, DeAndre Moore. That means Silas Bolden, Ryan Wingo, and Jonte Cook off the bench today in the second group. Gunnar Helm starting tight end, Jaden Blue starting running back. And your starting right guard is DJ Campbell. He's on a short leash today. Communications big. Cam Williams making his 2nd career start. 3rd and 13, snaps away. Ball's a little outside, and it's going to be punt time. That was not going to get a first down anyways. That was a throw, about an 7-8 yard throw to Isaiah Bond, but was not going to be a first down.
That's not what you want to see, but it's okay. They moved the ball a little bit, Jerry. It wasn't perfect. Jaden Blue on that one had a good pass pickup pass block pickup on that 3rd down call. It won't obviously Isaiah Bond that ball away from him. To your point, Jerry, kept it outside. But the point being there is that the Longhorns actually did have good pass protection from Jaden Blue.
Yeah, Michael Qunn punts that ball away. Fair caught by Colorado State about the 9-yard line. People are asking, where's the game on? It's on ESPN News. Until the Vanderbilt Virginia Tech game ends on ESPN News or the ESPN app. They're talking about the Colorado State starting quarterback, Braden Fowler-Nicolsi. He played at Aledo High, obviously one of the powerhouse programs in the DFW area, threw 22 touchdowns, 16 interceptions as a freshman.
All right, let's see what happens here on defense. Longhorns trying to replace Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat, Jerry.
There's a heck of a play right there, Anthony Hill, Bobby. Throw it now. Look to a bunch set. Anthony Hill makes a great play in space against Torrey Horton. Look, we've been told Anthony Hills look like an All-American in practices. There's a feeling in the building like he could have an All-American season for the Horns this year. I don't think it would surprise many people.
They're going to do the fake and go in a second here because Texas really bit on that hard and bit her early, Jerry. All three were.
Second 13 from the 7 handoff, nothing doing. He broke the tackle, though, so he ended up picking up 2. Might have got away with the face mask. We also got a flag. It's going to be a hold, I think, on Colorado State, which should be half the distance to the goal. Yeah, half the distance to the goal. So you either decline it and take 3rd and 11, or you take it and you're about 2nd and 16. Decline. So it's going to be 3rd and 11 coming up here. Hold there on Foster 69 on a run to the right. He was pulling from the left guard position. He actually false started too, by the way. Actually wasn't pulling. He false started as well.
Both.
Gilbo with the tackle there. So big 3rd and 10 here.
This is what you need. Hey, Jerry, you're still alive here. Your idea is still alive. Let's see what Texas does. Is this the NASCAR?
No chance. So they're going to punt it to Silas Bolden. He's going to return it for a touchdown, and I'm going to call the first touchdown of the year. And if not, in my mind, it's still happening.
Hey, by the way, Alfred Collins on that play with a tremendous interior pressure.
Yeah, 4th and 9, punt time.
Tell you what, that was some speed on that rush from Texas.
Yeah,
that'll make people get off of it early.
This guy better kick the ball out of bounds because Silas Bolden, if he kicks it low to Silas Bolden, it's house call time.
Jerry, you're gonna go down in history as the best first play touchdown caller if this happens.
No, they weren't gonna let it. They close. Dang it! They weren't gonna give him a chance to return it. That's actually smart by Colorado State. All right, we're at a commercial here, guys. But again, starting wideouts today for those that were wondering: DeAndre Moore, Isaiah Bond, and Matthew Golden. Starting running back, obviously Jaden Blue. Starting right guard, DJ Campbell. Starting tight end, Gunnar Helm. Bobby, defensively, Texas looked really fast and quick on that possession.
Interior got pressure in the backfield. One of the things that they wanted to try to do more this year is play in the backfield of their opponent on defense, and I thought they did that very well on that first series. Not just on the pass play that was a little delayed screen almost to the wide receiver, but they also did it on that second down play. Alfred Collins got a lot of penetration, met the running back, or at least was grasping at his heels 2 yards deep in the backfield. That's what we've been talking about, Jerry, is what's Johnny Nanson's influence going to be on this Texas defense? For my viewing, it looks like Texas is going to try to be a little bit faster into the backfield without necessarily strong gap responsibilities. That will mean different things at different times this year. Some teams will be able to exploit that more easily than others. When you have a team that is not considered a strong running team and is primarily a passing team, I think it's a good strategy.
Hey, right? Rick Ambergi, so I like this. Texas seems to be targeting the backers and corners, staying away from the CSU safeties. I do think that is probably early part of the game plan.
Yeah, and those passes are easier on the outside for Qunn. It gets him going a little bit, but still. He did miss 2 on that one, too. I think he's 2 of 4 right now on the game. But, Jerry, I have to say you couldn't ask for a better start on defense. Offense, look, they need to go down and score. This is something we wanted from him. And so that is something we absolutely wanted is a score, and we didn't get it. But a 3-and-out by Colorado State kind of helps matters. Now Texas can try to go back after it a little bit.
It'll be interesting to see when we come back here on second series. Do we see Silas Bolden? Do we see Jonte Cook? Do we see Trey Weiser? When does Sark? He's still early in this script. When does some of those substitutions start happening within the script? Because this is second offensive possession for the Horns coming up here. So What are we going to see from Sark's script right now, and who are we going to see as part of it?
Hey, and who do we see at guard? Do we start seeing stuff? Look, Hayden Connor did exactly what they told him not to do.
Yep.
On that first series, said, "Do not. We're gonna try to be cleaner this year." Yeah. You had 1st and 10 in plus territory, and what do? False start to make it 1st and 15. So all of a sudden, the run up the middle that you want to try to lean on them over time, you're not allowed to do it because it's 2nd and 13 instead of the 2nd and 8. And Texas could still get out of that, but come on, that's part of the.
Jaden Blue with a little 7-yard run off the right side there. Play designed more to go up the middle, broke a tackle in the B gap and shot out to the right sideline, got 7 yards on first down, setting up a 2nd and 7. David Rawls says, "Is it Mears look Texas? Does Texas look fast?" Miguel Gonzalez very fast. I do think Texas looks really fast. This is easily the fastest team 1 through 85 Sark's had at Texas.
I like that he went to the run there early in the series.
Another big run. Jaden Blue off the left side there in the Colorado State territory. Good tone setter here. Sark's always been a 53% run, 47% pass. Pull Jake Majors here, got a good block. Then Jaden Blue had turned on the accelerator jets to get a plus 10-yard run. Ball on the 40 here. 3 rushes, 26 yards for Jaden Blue.
Man, he's fast. What else you can say? He has that elite acceleration.
Heck of a play call here, Bobby. Heck of a play call. Faked it. Jaden Blue, crosser, shallow crosser, gunner helm. Made a Colorado State Ram miss. Big pickup. We're in the red zone, the Rod Babers zone. Here we go. On the 3. Punch it in. This is where you want to see Kelvin Banks, Cam Williams, DJ Campbell, Jake Majors lean on guys. Punch this thing in. Trey Wisner comes in at running back on this 1st and goal from
what did you think of the nifty feet of Gunnar Helm there? I spoke to Gunner's dad in the pregame over at the tailgate. What did you think of that?
Down Texas, Trey Wisner, a little hesitation run, and the horns are on the board, baby.
Who had Trey Wisner? Who had Trey Wisner for the
Bobby Burton and Derek Wisner?
I did not have Derek. I did not have Trey. I had Jaden Blue. But there we go.
I think our producer Matthew Hutchinson had Trey Wisner, so we'll buy him dinner tonight, or I will. Matthew and I are going on a dinner date tonight, guys.
Oh, hey, when in doubt, run it down their throats. 1 play action to Gunnar Helm, set up the touchdown. That was a nifty move. I tell you, the play of that game was clearly, play of that series was clearly the move by Gunnar Helm in the open field, Jerry. Yeah. That was kind of freaky. I think that was against one of those safeties that you've been touting for Colorado State.
Plays like that get you drafted.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So on the touchdown run, here you go. Pull Hayden Connor from the left guard spot. Down block, Cam Williams, DJ Campbell, open up the hole, 3-yard touchdown run, Trey Wisner.
Boy, that's a lot of football in 5 minutes.
Virginia Tech has officially lost to Vanderbilt. Thank you, Pooh. Vanderbilt, that's good for Texas strength of schedule. Go Commodores.
Hey, Juan Davis made a great seal block on that one, Jerry. Juan Davis. I'm about 5 seconds behind you, I think. And
in the 40-yard dash, too.
Yeah, good stuff there. I'm not that far back in the 40-yard dash, my friend. I saw you trying to huff it up that hill today. Don't give me that. I was walking fast, and you were kind of saying, "Oh, my Achilles hurts."
My Achilles is hurting. It's old age injury. Like wake up and the thing's hurting. Will Stone kickoff. That is going to be fielded at the 1 yard deep, and Colorado State will not bring that ball out. I think we should be on ESPN now, right, guys? Or about to be.
I've still got it on ESPN News personally.
Let's see.
And it's still on ESPN News.
That we are on ESPN now, everybody. ESPN, Texas second defensive possession. It'll be 1st and 10. Texas number 4. Doesn't it look good? All Texas fans on this chat, all 1,200 people. Doesn't it look good to see that number 4 by Texas starting the season? It's been a long time.
I tell you what looks better. The 7 on the scoreboard.
Yep.
I'm all about that now.
Little outside run there by Colorado State. Jalen Gilbo did a good job getting up the field, turned it. Colorado State back, turned it up, made about 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. Armani Winfield. There he is, Armani Winfield, the Baylor transfer, decommitted from Texas at halftime of a game. Probably regrets that about now, seeing as Texas is foreign to country and went to the playoff last year. All right, so on that defensive front, Jermaine Lole in the ball game at one defensive tackle spot, getting off the ball well, but they just creased it up the middle. Strong tackle by Michael Taft, but a couple of good runs there by Colorado State. Alfred Collins, Jermaine Lole are your defensive linemen on this series. Baron Sorrell, Trey Moore, your edges. Manny Muhammad at corner, obviously starting secondary, still in the ball game. So the only shuffle there was Jermaine Lole for Vernon Broughton on this second series.
Anthony Hill missed his fill there. He overfilled another side. That was a poor play that one that just creased.
And this is what Colorado State wants to run the football. They know they can't line up and just be one-dimensional against Texas. It's not going to work. They know that. There's Anthony Hill coming back, making a good play there. I just got a text from somebody in the stadium that said Lole's gigantic. And he's got that short kind of cinder block body, so he looks really big in pads on the field, about 6'1". There he is, 99, about 6'1 and a half, about 310.
Yeah, he is a squatty body, to your point. Right. That's the thing that he has that is 100% different than what Vernon Broughton brings to the table, Jerry. He is more that run stopper, whereas Broughton is more that upfield rush guy.
They're a little quick slant there up against Jalen Gilbo. You see Jelani McDonald in the game at safety now for Texas, getting his first real action at safety. I believe that's Jelani McDonald I see out there. The strength of this Colorado State team is center guard. Center right guard is the strength of their offensive line, I should say, for this Colorado State team. Obviously, the strength of their team is wide receiver. They're in the plus Texas territory for the first time. Second drive of the game.
It's a good drive for Colorado State thus far.
Bill Norton now in the game. I think after that little bit of run game from Colorado State, Texas said, all right, Big Bill. Wild Bill, get yourself in there. There you see Big 15 there. And his job is this. If somebody starts running the ball, they're going to bring in Bill Norton, and he is going to take up 2 defenders and let the linebackers fill gaps.
See who else is in there besides Norton. Who's beside him right now? Because it's not Alfred Collins.
It's Justice Finkley, Norton, Broughton, and and Ethan Burke.
There we go. So other than Broughton, that is the second team defensive line, right?
Mm-hmm. Delay a game there on Colorado State. We're at 6-12 point in the first quarter. Texas up 7-0, obviously. Ball back to the 49.5-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 14. Again, that's your defensive front. Jahdae Barron at one corner, Manny Muhammad at the other corner. You have Michael Taft, I guess Derek Williams at the other safety. Oh, Makuba. Sorry, it's Makuba. Good pressure there. Good pressure there. Throws it up. Is that going to be grounding? He was inside the pot. He was inside the tackle box. There was a receiver in the vicinity. They probably won't throw the flag, but good pressure up the middle there. I think that was Vernon Broughton and Anthony Hill. Yes, Pooh, Dabo did lose big time. We may have a call-in show for the Clemson fans. There needs somewhere to vent. I think if I can get producer Matthew Hutchinson on board with it, we can advertise it for the Clemson fans. If you need somewhere to vent, we'll take your calls. Because Dabo is taking calls.
Hey, Anthony Hill came on a delayed bliss on that one. He waited and checked down and see if anything was crossing his face and then went.
There he is. There's an incompletion on third down. Texas gets the hold. That throw was to Tyler Goffney, who played in Cypress area in high school. Not 19 players from the state of Texas on this Colorado State roster. So the delay of game was big. Got a delay blitz Anthony Hill, incompletion on 3rd and 14, 5:48 to go. Texas, 2 punt returners back here, guys. Interesting coming up here. They don't want him to kick it away from
they don't want the rugby kick, because that's what the guy did last time, right? Was the rugby kick. And it got an extra 20 yards on him.
Now, he kicked that one short and out of bounds. It looks like it'll be about the 16, 17-yard line. They marked it at the 15 and a half. So that was Colin Simmons, guys, with his first rush off the edge for Texas on that 3rd down.
Ooh, I did not see that. I did not notice that, Jerry.
7-0 here. Okay, while we're at this commercial, I'm going to flip over and talk a little bit of this. Let's check on this Florida game. Florida, Miami, what do we got? I know Ryan Nelson's flipping back and forth. I see him in the chat. Miami is already inside the Florida 10. Driving it. The interesting thing, everybody talks about Miami. They're talking about Cam Ward. Damian Martinez, the running back transfer from Oregon State, from Louisville High to Miami, I think is maybe the biggest pickup they had. And I know quarterback gets all the attention and Cam Ward's a good player. Damian Martinez is a much better running back than Miami's had in recent years. This guy's going to play in the league for a while. So they got a quarterback and running back, legitimate QB1, QB, and RB1 out of the portal. Both guys that'll be pros. And there's a touchdown for Miami. Boy, oof. The Boo Birds are going to be out early in the swamp.
Let's see what happens. They better get the offense right. Hey, G is saying that Colin has been in on every 3rd and long. That very well is possible. I have to go back and look at that, G. I will go back and look at that at the end of the 1st quarter.
The ninth year TD for the Canes, the tight end. Katie, I'm the best. That's freaking great. That is a great comment. Yes, the guy that's a nine-year player in college football.
I hope he has at least a couple of degrees to show for it.
He should have 3.
Yeah, should have 3. He could already be a doctor. It's like takes forever to be a doctor after your undergrad. 9 years, you're probably be a doctor by now, doing rounds.
Yep. Hook'em 24/7's asking, did Clemson get shut out? And that pretty much 34-3. They did get 3. They got a 3.
Hey, I know Muschamp and Kirby Smart are good on defense, but Jerry, I'm telling you, I think there's a little something to teams figuring out the Garrett Riley, Lincoln Riley offense.
I agree.
I don't know. It's almost like, and that doesn't mean they can't iterate again, because I think they will be able to. Lincoln Riley is in from the Mike Leach, branch. He was the offense coordinator at Texas Tech for Leach back in the day. I just think that it's run its course a little bit, and they're going to have to maybe iterate more than they think they need to.
Yeah.
Because Kate Klubnik is a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence for Clemson, but he should do more than what he does with that offense.
Well, and the thing with Dabo is, it's similar to Mac at the end, because Dabo didn't want to get into some of those real recruiting wars, which he had to early on for CJ Spiller and Sammy Watkins out of the Tampa area. Some of those recruitments he's not really in on right now. And
I'm being told that Ryan Wingo is in, Jerry.
Ryan Wingo is in the game, as is Silas Bolden and Jonte Cook, second group of wideouts. I believe are actually two new wide receivers. There's a throw to Jonte Cook for a first down, about a 12-yard gain on a slant. Jonte Cook and Ryan Wingo in the game right now, correct. But they don't have the wide receivers and running back talent. They don't have that talent that can just put you over the top right now on offense. Now, defensive line, they're still good. Georgia's offensive line's legit. All right, little fake to Jaden Blue, throwing it down the field. Tough. That's a heck of a catch by Ryan Wingo, guys.
Woo!
Great coverage on that.
That's the way it needs to happen.
Yeah.
That's the way it needs to happen, guys.
Now, Ryan Wingo, DeAndre Moore, and Jonte Cook, I believe, are your wide receivers in the game. But a really good play by Wingo, shielding the corner from the football. That's not a normal freshman play. Now a little quick shot to Ryan Wingo, and he takes off for 9.
Loving this. That's the way you get. That is the way you get young people. What a nice play by Wingo. Jeez, that's
where Wingo, Bobby. We talked about this. His most impressive play in the spring game to me wasn't the long touchdowns and a couple of busted coverage plays necessarily. It was the first catch he made where he made 2 guys miss, showed a little shoulder fake, and got low for a big kid and went and maximized a short catch and got like 8-9 yards. I was like, if he can do that, then he's a real dude.
I got to tell you this, they're using some 21 personnel with Blue and Weisner.
Yeah.
Now, just keep that in mind.
7-0, 3:50 to go, first quarter. Third down coming up for the Horns here after that was stuffed. So
Connor got blown up on that play. Blown up.
Little quick toss. Jaden Blue cuts it back. Really good job breaking first tackle, Jaden Blue. Getting it out, getting him in space, then letting him cut back and making somebody miss. That is Jaden Blue at his best right there in the run game. Start him outside the tackle. Again, Jake Majors pulls, make somebody miss, hit the accelerator button. That's Jaden Blue. That's at his best in the run game. I like those plays with Jaden Blue.
I do too. And I like, look, that's a 3rd and 4, by the way. You don't run that play at 3rd and 9, right? If you have
they brought the heat on that play.
Yeah. This is new. They're pulling Jake Majors more than they have in previous years. Jerry, to your point.
All right, sack of Qunn, first of the season. 50 linebacker got him on that play.
1, 2, 3. They brought 5.
Yeah.
A 6. They brought 6 and got there.
2nd and 15 from the Colorado State 48 coming up here. Qunn Ewers takes a shotgun snap, throws it to the right side to Isaiah Bond. He got down to about the 40, so what are we looking at? 8-yard gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5.5, 6.
3rd and manageable. That's what Sark wanted to get to.
Qunn Ewers now looking at it's 3rd and 8. I guess it is 7-9 for 109 yards so far in the game. Ryan Wingo, 2 receptions for 25. Isaiah Bond, 2 for 21. Gunnar Helm, the 37-yarder. Trey Weisner in it, running back here. Helm, Cook, Bolden, Wingo, I believe. Maybe Matthew Golden. Not Wingo. Matthew Golden are your wideouts. Little quick shot to Trey Weisner. Busted that wide open. Really good block there. I believe that was Gunnar Helm, guys. But a really quick little shot to Trey Weisner and got up the field. I think that was Gunnar Helm with a really good block there.
They going empty there after they go out of the backfield. So that's actually 20 personnel on the field, Jerry. That was 20 personnel on the field, and they went 5 wides.
That was Gunnar Helm. Yep.
Yeah, 21 personnel, and they went 5 wides out of it.
Yep. Cam Williams had a block in space on that play as well.
Yeah, but that's
from the 22.
That's really good stuff. Good block by Cam Williams, to your point.
That was a missed block there on this first down run.
Texas snapping the ball around 10-second mark on each of these plays. I've been trying to figure that out and see what's going on. But it's been around with the new helmet communications, Jerry, it's been around the 10-second mark for Texas.
Right, there's a wheel route, really good catch by Jaden Blue. He was down. That's not going to be. Oh, they're calling that incomplete. Maybe he never had it. I'm going to have to see the replay of that. It was a little wheel route, good throw to Jaden Blue, good coverage as well. Let's see. I guess it was incomplete. He never really had possession of it. They may take a second look at this. He fought the possession of it. Looks like they're just going to roll with it as incomplete. 3rd and 13 coming from the 25-yard line for the Horns. Jaden Blue offset to the right. 4 wide. So 3 wides plus Black. Pressure on Qunn. Quinn's past the line of scrimmage. It was tipped and intercepted, guys.
Could have gone up by two scores there.
Qunn was past the line of scrimmage on that play to begin with. That was anything. If he had completed a pass, that was coming back. He was a good 2 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Wonder what he was trying to do there. Could you tell what he's trying to do, even, Jerry?
Colorado State's getting a little too much pressure right now for me. But Qunn is the ball is just tipped. I don't know. I think he had to eat that. That's a play where a third-year quarterback needs to get down, eat the play, get a field goal.
Yeah.
That was not a good quarterback play there for a third-year starting quarterback. That ball should have never been released under that much pressure where it was coming from. He just needed to slide, get 2 or 3 yards, and get the field goal and get out of there. Looking to get too much. Looking for too much.
Yep. This will be probably the final play of the first quarter, I would say, coming up after this thing comes in. Hey, I think Aaron Hogan is here, guys. Pretty sure he's ready to go. How you doing, Aaron?
Hey, guys. Apologize for some tech issues I was having at the original broadcast location, so I had to race home and beat Austin traffic. But ready to go for the rest of the game. Yeah, I'm with Jerry on that throw right there. I mean, that's a field goal range opportunity. Got to be better than that in that spot, get some points on the board. But so far, it looks pretty good as far as the offense and the running game guys have been outstanding so far. I mean, Jaden Blue, Trey Wisner look outstanding.
Yeah. Couple of what could have beens here. The first drive started out with a false start that kind of deadened the drive. The drop there by Jaden Blue, and then the interception from Qunn. It hasn't been that Texas hasn't moved the ball. Again, they got to get down to the execution of it. And get it done.
Texas offensive line not had a good quarter. I mean, they put up numbers. They have 154 yards. The Colorado State's got too much pressure on Texas right now, and Texas has gotten blown up a little bit too much on some of the run plays for me. Need a little bit better out of Texas OL second quarter.
Yeah, 8 for 12. Qunn had been perfect on that drive until that interception right there and tip ball. But yes, defend the on the third down like that. Get your field goal. Get Bert Auburn on the field. I think you feel better about 10-0 first quarter versus 7-0. Now CSU has the ball, and it is a veteran Colorado State team. We know that, so I think they're going to try to hang around as long as they can. But those are the points that create some separation that you can get right there. What do you guys think? Trey Wisner looking really sharp so far running the football. I know that's a guy Jerry, you guys have heard a lot about having some juice here in this camp so far once CJ Baxter went down.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Trey Wisner, he's a slasher with physicality though. So really good player. I think he's going to have a big year for the Horns. Obviously, it looks like, when they got first time in the red zone, who'd they hand the ball off to? Trey Wisner. He got the first crack at being the red zone back inside the 5-10 yard line right there. So we'll see if that continues or if that was just in the flow of the game. Jaden Blue touched it 2 or 3 times on that drive.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So we're going to obviously, Bobby, run down who's going to be joining us here throughout the course of this ball game. I'll take over as driving the ship and keeping it rolling. But what's coming?
Absolutely. Bob Shipley is joining in the second quarter here. That's going to be fun for Coach Ship. And then it's his first watch with us. He'll may bring a little bit of the sidelines to the show, we hope. Then Rob Babers comes in the third quarter, and then Jerry will finish it up in the fourth, and then we'll have the post-game show on a different show altogether. But that'll be it. Coach Shipley, come on in. Let's go ahead and make him do a little bit of first quarter work. I mean, make this guy earn it. Make him earn it. What do you think so far, Coach?
Well, I have to agree with you. I think our offensive line needs to step it up a little bit, but it's been nice to see, some guys that we've been talking about, a little bit, Wisner and Ryan Wingo make some plays here in the first quarter.
Anthony Hill just is all over the place, man.
Yeah, he is.
Yep. All of them just made a good play in space there as well to end the first quarter. All right, hey, guys, I'm going to take off. I'm going to let you two take it over. Aaron, I'll see you, buddy. Coach Ship. Take care of yourself, buddy. Good seeing you. Hook 'em.
All right, and Jerry will rejoin us later on. Bobby, thanks for that. Coach, how are you? How are you enjoying the game so far? Everything good?
Yeah, it's going good. I don't like that cheap interception they just got, but I'm glad that the season's finally underway and we can kind of let out a little breath and go, okay, let's see what we really got. Because so far it's only been speculation.
Well, and that's obviously sounds like a cliche or coach speak or bromide or whatnot, but you lived it as a high school coach and as a college coach. You don't know what your team is until you see them in a fight, right? The dog in the fight. I think this would be a good football team, but to me, it's kind of like if you're a golfer, it's like your golf game. You don't know, you're not sure what you're going to have until you tee off in that opening tee box. What are you going to have today? You may have the best round of your life the week before, but you get back out there and it could be all different. You got to figure out what your personality is, what your game is that day, and figure it out from there. And that's really the fun part for a coach and the staff and the roster.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, I've been on the other side of that back in 2017 when Maryland came into town for Tom Herman's first game, and we thought, okay, the new era is about to begin. Let the butt whooping start. And it started all right, but we weren't on the winning end of it.
Yep, I remember that.
And so then we go back the next season, back up in DC and play, and basically the same result. So I've lived through a couple of season opening nightmares, and not a good look. Obviously, in 2018, we wound up coming back and beating Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. So that was fun, but those opening game upsets are really hard to overcome. So I'm hoping we can knock a little more of the rust off and take control of the game here in the second quarter.
Yeah, a punt on an early drive and then a turnover, but a touchdown in between there. 154 total yards in that first half. And you and Jerry were talking about the offensive line, only 27 rush yards to this point. What are you, if you're Kyle Flood, what are you saying to your O-line on the other side when they got a little bit of time here?
Well, it's game time. I mean, it's you got the brightest shine, in game time. And if I'm Kyle Flood, I'm looking at, let's try some backups and see if we can light a fire under some guys, or see if we can find some guys, with a hot hand, which is kind of unusual to say on the offensive line, but I think we've got a couple of question marks, especially on the right side. And so we'll see how things progress as the game goes, but I wouldn't be afraid to, if you got somebody who's sleepwalking out there, pull their butt out, put somebody else in there that, that can, maybe wants to be there and wants to play and can handle, what Colorado State's bringing, which to me doesn't look anything unlike what I saw previously from them.
Yeah, well, and that was a pretty consistent theme last year from Sark, is he, maybe some slow starts. He would talk about how they came in with the defense or some looks they hadn't seen yet and have to adjust to it. That's in every game, though, Coach. Right? You got to see what they're bringing at you. You got 3 drives with the ball now, and now the adjustments need to be made on your side. Maybe even some personnel changes too. What about the defense so far? Pitching a shutout, only 34 yards for Colorado State.
Yeah, that's a great point, Aaron. And it takes Sark a quarter sometimes and his staff to figure out what's going on. What the defense is trying to do to stop our offense. So defensively, I'm pleased with what I've seen so far. I think it's important for us to continue to pitch a shutout. Although there you see a nice throw and catch. Which is going to be a long day if they continue to do that.
Yeah, Torrey Horton, the All-American receiver candidate, he's already got 3 catches, 16 yards. He's the 5th-year time in the Mountain West Conference's history. So this guy's got a lot of skins on the wall, veteran player, and the Longhorns will have their hands full with him. But there's a good tackle coming up in the secondary, Derek Williams. Coach, we talked about all through training camp and now getting to see it. Just talk about the speed of this defense, the fastest defense they've had. Anthony Hill's been making plays. Derek Williams coming up from his safety spot there. That's one of those, can't coach speed, and the Longhorns certainly have plenty of it on defense.
Yeah, they really do. And I was interested to see how they were going to handle the rotation with Taft and Derek Williams. And, I don't know if they're doing it in a play-by-play or series-by-series, but you can't keep Derek Williams off the field. And that last play he made was evidence of the kind of playmaker he is.
Absolutely. Second quarter just underway now. It's 7-0 Texas. We're moving towards points a little bit ago and had an interception on a tip drill. There's a nice play in space again by Texas, and that's going to force a third down here for Colorado State. Simmons in coverage that time. Getting out there. Colin Simmons, the freshman from Duncanville, showing his speed on the outside.
I tell you, it's going to be exciting to watch his career blossom as a Longhorn, because he's already made his presence known here in the first half. The first game of, his college career, and people are already figuring out who he is. He is a beast.
Well, and that's one of those, Coach. If you're good enough, you're old enough, right? Doesn't matter what the grade level is. If you can have an impact on the football field, you're going to be on the field. And there's almost interception. Good defense by Gavin Holmes right there, playing some man coverage on the outside, trying to force it to their best player, and nearly had an interception there. Now another punt for the Texas defense, and really showing being very active and speed. And that's one of the offseason elements of emphasis for Texas, Coach, is getting turnovers. Creating those opportunities to play good defense, yes, but you want to turn the football over. Almost had one there.
Yeah, and I think Sark is doing what he said he was going to do. He's playing some backups in the secondary in this series, and it's good to see Gavin Holmes in there. I see Jelani McDonald in there, and he said he was going to play a lot of guys. He did last year in the opening against Rice. He played a lot of defensive guys. Everybody in the top two. Here's a fake punt we see that's going to end pretty well for us.
Yeah, that was looked like Texas had that sniffed out. I mean, it was on their side of the field. It was 4th and 4 or 5, and I'm not sure if the punter lost control of the ball or that was a design play. Texas looked like they were kind of in punt safe there, and you were kind of waiting for that. It felt like they weren't going to come all out pressure. Yeah. Well, they lost the ball. I'm not sure. We'll have to hear Jay Norvell on his way to halftime. I don't know if that was the plan, because now it's great field position.
I think he bobbled it. Looked like he bobbled a little bit and thought about it. And if you don't have time to, once you make a decision, I'm going to go for it, you can't change your mind. It looked like he thought for a second, I'm going to go for it. And then everybody was on him so quick, he didn't have a choice. I don't think that's what was designed, for sure.
I'm with you. Here come the Longhorns now. Maybe sudden change, maybe a quick strike opportunity for Texas with the essential turnover there on the fake punt in their own territory. All right, that's going to be an incomplete pass, I think, down the seam. It's a good throw by Qunn as they got the seam route run, and we'll see, get a look on where this is going to be. But that's Isaiah Bond, obviously. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, he took a good shot when he, it's one of those plays, you're going to get hit. You might as well hang on to it. It's going to hurt, and it doesn't hurt near as bad if you can hang on to it.
I do like the throw by Qunn that time. It was a good, nice read. He got up over the linebackers in front of the safeties in the seam route, and I agree with you. That's one Isaiah Bond would like to have back and bring down. That would have been 1st and goal if he holds on to that football. But we kind of thought Texas might take a shot there, and they did here on our watch along. Now 2nd down. Yeah, and there's Trey Wisner. He's got a great little jump cut, Coach. I mean, just quick, but making moves while moving forward. That's what you love about a running back.
Well, I love Trey Wisner. He was a great player out of high school, and I don't think anybody wanted him to see the field this early, but he's proving that he's worthy of some playing time and having paid his dues last year. He's playing a big part in this game. And this is certainly a drive. We need to get a touchdown. We do not need to settle for a field goal here. We've got to keep the foot on the accelerator.
Yeah, you start in plus territory like that, you need to see this one punched in for sure. Took the shot on 1st down, then the run from Wisner. What is it about those DeSoto kids, Coach? I mean, when you were a high school coach, and then the fingerprints, every one of those guys comes in just hard-working, tough. Byron Murphy, Jonte Cook, now Trey Wisner. They do a great job developing those players, but they're ready when they get to college to compete at a high level.
Yeah, they are. They played a small college schedule. A lot of them played in Duncanville and Cedar Hill and South Lake and the teams that they have to play up, in that area. But one thing about those guys from DeSoto, those guys from Duncanville, nothing has come easy to them in life. Those guys are dogs, man. They know this is their chance to get out of inner city Dallas is through football, and they've done a great job throughout the last few years of developing those players.
Costly penalty there for Texas. They were going to go for it on the 4th and a yard, and looked like Jake Majors clinched at center with the ball in his hands, and Longhorns are going to have to go for a kick now, which is not what we wanted. Wanted a touchdown there. But, yeah, offsides on Jake Majors. Everybody else moved, and he didn't snap the ball. So Bert Auburn with his first chance here. Longhorns have had their chances. They're kind of, you said, shake the rust off, Coach. Early game, maybe jitters and or just, first game, getting going smooth here. But been some penalties, been an interception, but now Bert Auburn, as usual, right down the middle, and the Longhorns will take a 10-point lead here, 12:41 to go in the quarter. But yeah, those are the little things, right? Those are the self-inflicted wounds that derail drives and keep a team like Colorado State hanging around.
And it's something you don't see from a 4-year starter like Jake Majors. I mean, he's the guy everybody looks up to on that offensive line. He's been the mainstay, and he's been the guy that's making all the calls for years out there. And, two things you don't expect from him: a bad snap or a false start. He's a center. If anybody knows when the ball is supposed to be snapped, it's him. But,
yeah.
One thing about it is sometimes the defensive line will bark out signals if they figure out, what the quarterback's saying, and they want to say it loud enough where the center can hear it, but not loud enough where the officials can hear it, because that'll be called a delay of game against defense if they catch them calling the signal. So I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have an offset nose there, somebody barking in his ear, because it's being a center is a little bit like a sprinter starting a race. I watched the Olympics and was amazed at the lack of false starts, because you're in that position and you're just waiting for a gun to go off, and then you're shot out of there like a cannon.
Yep.
And that's what's coming at Jake Majors and those guys whenever they snap the ball. It's that defense is coming off like they're shot out of a cannon, and it's just a lack of focus, I guess. Maybe, like I said, there's a lot of things that are going on out there that we don't know about, and we can't hear what's going on. But I would imagine there was a defensive lineman or a linebacker that's barking signals out there that probably made him flinch a little bit.
Yep. The message said O-line not in sync, and that's something we've talked about. They'll try to get that together. Let me mention our second quarter here. The On Texas Football Watch Along is brought to you by my buddy Anthony Hippolito, and he's an avid watcher of the On Texas Football channel. He's running for sheriff in Hays County and wants your vote if you do live in that county and wanted to be a part of this, because he loves watching the watch along and he loves helping folks. I've known Anthony 25 years. Actually, the first time I met him, he was an APD officer helping us with security at Schultz Garden. We were doing our pregame shows down there, 26 years in law enforcement, retired from the APD, now living out in Hays County near Dripping Springs, works for the Hays County Sheriff's Office. He does have the endorsement of the current sheriff for sure. Longtime Hays County resident, went to Hays High School, committed to enhancing public safety and protecting our schools. Strong focus on tackling the fentanyl crisis, which is really raging through Hays County and all over Central Texas. Ensures our community stays safe and informed. If you live in Hays County, I encourage you to vote for Anthony Hippolito. If you know people in Hays County, tell your people. You might not live in the county, you don't have a vote, but please tell them to vote for Anthony. It's safety, it's integrity, a stronger community. And again, he's already received the endorsement from the current sitting sheriff there and works closely with him. So comes with experience, comes with a big heart. Anthony Hippolito brings us the second quarter. And again, he's a P1 to the On Texas Football channel, loves watching it and loves his Longhorns. So appreciate that. And second quarter, Anthony Hippolito for sheriff of Hays County. Vote for him and tell your people to vote for him. Good dude. Can't go wrong with that for sure. So second quarter, Coach, pick up on the O-line not in sync. Longhorns have outgained the Rams 163-46, so more than 100 yards through the first quarter plus. But it's those little things right now that are kind of derailing what the Longhorns want to be doing on the scoreboard. Yeah,
if you're expecting our team to be one of the top 4 teams in the country, you expect that, from an opening game. You don't expect to see us struggling, 10-0 the start of the second quarter. Is I don't know that you'd call that struggling, but the expectations and the hype train, as they call it, has been running through Austin for several months now, and this is the reality. Where the rubber meets the road. What I always told kids: you are what the game film says you are, and so there's going to be a lot of corrections that need to be made from some of these first half mistakes that we've made, but I still feel like that, just look at the look at the game that came on earlier with Georgia. I mean, that was a close game with Georgia and Clemson until the third quarter. Yeah. And then Georgia started to show its dominance. And I think it's just a matter of time until we wear them down and can start kind of getting in a groove.
Yeah, get in sync. We saw it last year at times where they would scuffle around, and then the one thing about a Sark offense and this offense is can explode on you and score, quick and put some separation out there. We saw that many times, but you just want to see this thing getting geared. Defensively, so far, only 50 yards allowed, and only a couple 3 first downs for the Rams. And here they are trying to establish something on the ground. I think if you're Jay Norvell, you got to feel like, hey man, we're 10-0 down. If we could mount a drive right here before halftime, we can put ourselves right in the thick of this ballgame.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that that's what he's thinking. But, they used to say that about some of the slower offenses. It's like Novocaine, just give it time. It'll work eventually, and that's kind of what I'm feeling about us. We've been going against each other for so long. And I really think Sark wants to keep the offense as vanilla as he can in this first game. And, we need to win this game. We need to win this game big. You might see him kind of open things up a little bit more as the game goes on, especially until we can get a couple of more touchdowns on the board.
Big play by David Bender right there. Longhorns were kind of shifting at the line of scrimmage before the snap and on a big third down as Colorado State tried to run 3 straight running plays to get that 10 yards. And David Bender knifed through, got up under the defensive lineman and tackle for loss right there. We've talked about the speed on this defense, Coach. It is showing up in a big way, whether it's a fifth-year guy like David Bender or, a freshman like Colin Simmons or Anthony Hill. They're all over the field right now.
Yeah, it seemed like Bender's been there as long as Jordan was there. I helped recruit Bender out of Cinco Ranch, and he's a great team player. He's a guy that if you just looked at him, you probably wouldn't pick him out of a crowd, being the type of player that he is.
And a super nice kid. I mean, that can be said about a lot of the guys in that locker room right now with Sark, but you've known him since high school. Just a super, super kid that's going to do great things beyond football, I would imagine. But yeah, man, that's that linebacker core. That was one of the questions coming in for a lot of people, Coach, of Anthony Hill, who, Jalen Ford was such a key figure of that defense last year in the middle. So far, so good. Only 3 first downs for the Rams.
Yeah, I think our defense is playing well. We just need to get the offense going in a little more sync, and I think we will. I think Sark will start opening it up a little bit. I don't, like I said, he doesn't want to show any more than he has to in this game with the big game coming up next week. But yeah, I think he's only got so much patience till he's going to want to blow this game open.
Yeah, that's a good factor. We talked about that on our pregame show over on 102.7 ESPN. Was you want to look crisp, you want to look sharp, but you don't want to show much at all because you're going to be facing one of the best defenses in all of college football next week at Michigan. We don't know what their offense is going to look like. I mean, Michigan, we know it's going to be a physical offense, but a lot of new players on that side. But the defense, you got 2-3 first-round draft picks, high first-round draft picks on that defense, and a defensive coordinator in Wink Martindale, Coach, that kind of has some mystery about him too, because you just aren't sure what he's going to bring from the National Football League. So as you said, Sark's trying to get some consistency in his offense, trying to get some rhythm with his offense at the same time, not showing much to next week's opponent. Jerry Hamilton back with the G-Man. Did you get a bite to eat? What are you doing over there, man?
I just want to listen to Coach Shipley. I'm just here to listen to the best.
Yeah, right.
I am.
Hey, we're talking about Wink Martindale. This is all I bring to the show. I thought he was a game show host. Somebody told me he was a defensive coordinator at Michigan. I thought Wink Martindale.
Well, I think Wink, the coach at Michigan, who used to be with the Giants and the Ravens in the NFL, his name's not Wink. He got that nickname, but it came from the game show host. Like his last name was Martindale. He's got I don't remember what his first name is, but he
look at him. There he is.
Wink. The tic-tac-toe coach back in the day.
Heck yeah, man. That brings back a lot of memories, man. Eating Skittles, watching game shows after school.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, look, 90. He's still alive, isn't he? 90 years old, for crying out loud. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Old Wink Martindale, and he was a game show host. He loved it.
I can just see Michigan's Wink Martindale with one of those long, skinny microphones like yes. That. Calling the plays on the sideline to the
that's hilarious.
Headsets on the defensive captain.
Talk about that, Jerry, real quick. The trying to look crisp and be good here with Colorado State, but at the same time, and Colorado State is a veteran defense. Let's not forget they had some close games last year. Bring most of those guys back. So they're going to kind of hang around here. But Texas is their own worst enemy in a lot of the cases here. But how do you play that? Trying to get ready for a game against Michigan without showing much, but at the same time look crisp and get things going here, cranked up against Colorado State.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think what Coach said is 100% true. I was told that Texas wants to be I hate the term, but as vanilla as possible this week before Michigan next week. But the reality for me, guys, is Texas just hadn't been clean on offense, whether it's Quinn's bad throw interception, third-year starting quarterback, that you dive forward, take your 3 yards, get your field goal at that point in time, whether it's a couple of blown assignments on the interior, not creating the lane on the interior, getting pushed back a little bit, dropped a couple of passes, tough catches, but 2 hands on those balls when you adjust to the ball in the air. It just hasn't been a clean offensive performance for Texas so far. They're up 10-0. They have 163 yards, but when you look at it, they should probably have 200-plus yards in this game and at least 17 points or at least 13 points. But thing I kind of looked at, Gunnar Helm had a nice play. They're showing the replay. Is Washington State threw for 460 last year, and Colorado threw for about 370. And that's what I was kind of looking for. That Colorado State has good safeties up the middle. The problem is they're getting too much pressure, Coach, without bringing a lot of numbers right now for me.
Yeah, they are. And that's just indictment on our offensive line play so far.
Yeah, well, and I'm assuming that's been a message that's been sent on the sidelines. They got to saddle this lineup. I mean, it's 4 returning starters. It's supposed to be the strength of the offense, really. It's a very talented offense, but maybe the biggest strength outside of quarterback was going to be the O-line, and they need to get that thing going and give Qunn some time. There's a good play action, nice throw and a big play. There's an explosive down the field. Matthew Golden making the separated play. That's the good protection. No one near Qunn. Got to step up in that pocket and deliver an easy ball, guys.
Look, if they will give him time, Texas will throw for 400 yards today. You're seeing Colorado State cannot cover Texas down the field. If they just pass pro, Texas is throwing for 400 plus in this game. People are going to be running wide open down the field.
Yeah. Another play action, a little RPO action to get to the outside, back-to-back first downs for Texas in the move. And this is then they move the ball. You said it before you dropped off a little bit ago, Jerry, that they're moving the ball. It's just then they have a penalty or turnover, shoot themselves in the foot. Maybe that's first game, rustiness at the same time. They need to finish off this drive with a touchdown and take a bigger lead here before the half. But you're right, this secondary is veteran, but they're not very good. And that's where if they can protect Qunn, they're going to be fine here. And 2 back-to-back first downs.
DJ Campbell back in the game at right guard there. Cole Hudson, I think, played the last couple of series. So I think it's back to your starting offensive line there unless somebody's replaced. Hayden Connor left guard there at your starters on the offensive line. Jaden Blue, Matthew Golden, obviously. It looks like you're starting Juan Davis in at tight end with Gunnar Helm. So now it's back to 2-back, 21 personnel.
Yeah, and Jaden Blue with a nice run off that right side. It's been dealing with some issues here. But now into the red zone, the high red zone. This was the issue last year. Probably the biggest issue with the offense was the red zone performance. See if they can crack this. They already scored 1 touchdown. If you're just jumping in here on the On Texas Football watch along, Trey Wisner with the first touchdown of the Longhorn season on a nice run with the offensive line pulling. But now a 3rd down, guys. This is that red zone that they worked on all off season. Let's see if they can convert, because what you don't want to do here is settle for 3 points.
Yeah, I'd like to see a run pass option here. Anytime you can have a couple of choices on a key play like this is nice, or something that is going to be open, like a quick out.
Yeah, there you go. Quick out, Isaiah Bond. That was another issue for Texas. Isaiah Bond dropped that one pass up the seam after the muff punt deal that could have created an explosive and a scoring opportunity. So better rhythm on this drive, guys. Better rhythm so far, Coach, with this offense. So explosive plays, line's playing well.
Coach, you can run that quick out from the slot all day long if that safety's 12 yards off, can't you?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Keep calling that play over and over and over again for 400 yards.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that was an easy pitch and catch. And now here we go. Now to the real area of concern a year ago, which was the short red zone. Closer they got, the tougher it got. It felt like a lot of times last year. We'll see if they can punch this in. Jaden Blue picked up a couple of yards on 1st and goal, but now we'll see what they go with. This is where we get to see what they've been working on. And again, it's going to be vanilla versus, they're not showing Michigan much, but pretty basic stuff. There it is.
Oh,
Right.
I wasn't expecting that. Wow.
I wasn't either, Coach. I'm ahead of y'all. I'm ahead of y'all. I did not want to say anything. I was not expecting that.
I do not like that short with a couple of rundowns to burn, but it worked.
Yeah, got man coverage on the outside, little rub play for Matthew Golden. Anytime you get man coverage down there, Jerry, you know you're going to be able to, especially with the separation you can get with a guy like Golden. It's there. But you guys wanted to see him pound it in, get physical, punch that thing through the end zone?
Well,
Ideally,
I would like to have seen
yes.
that, but I'm not going to complain.
No, 2 for 2 in the red zone. I think that's where we're at today. 2 for 2.
Yep. Well, and to your guys' points, I mean, when the Longhorns haven't made their own self-inflicted mistakes, they've put points on the board each time. It's been those penalties and the one turnover for Texas. But 17-0 now, 233 total yards for the Horns to 53. So, gosh, really, really dominating this game. And the scoreboard's starting to indicate that. Now would be a good opportunity, Coach and Jerry, to get a quick stop, get some points before the half, and really take the momentum.
Yeah, look, this is not huge for the outcome of the game, but huge for putting your foot on somebody, defensive possession. Texas going up 53 yards, not many yards per play, 2.8 yards per play. If you can get a 3 and out here, 5:50 to go, if you can get a 3 and out, that Colorado State defense is starting to look tired already to me, guys, especially in the secondary. They're going to have to play off coverage. And when they go man, it's not going to be pretty. But if you can get a 3 and out here, Coach, that Colorado State defense is already starting to tire.
Yeah, it really is. We certainly need to go in with a 24-0 lead at halftime, and that's close to where I thought we'd be. I thought it'd be closer to 28, but I'll take a 24-0 lead if we can make that happen. But I agree. This next stand by our defense is going to be really big. I think 53 yards of total offense in over a quarter and a half is that's a pretty good job.
Yeah, 100%. And then a lot of Qunn love for the throw. That was a nice throw. Knowing he had man coverage and back to him, able to fire that one in and rifle it into Matthew Golden for the second touchdown of the year for the Longhorns. So far, Trey Wisener with the first, and now one of the newcomers, Matthew Golden from the University of Houston transfer. Qunn now 187 yards, 12 of 17. Did have the one tip drill interception that it probably should have just taken the 3 points there, and you'd be up 20-0. But either way, Quinn's been really sharp. And that's the case for this whoever they're playing, guys. If Quinn's protected with this speed on the outside, he's going to deliver these kind of passes. I mean, now we're watching him on the Dr. Pepper commercials, but he's going to deliver the throws if the protection. So far in the first quarter and a half, the protection hasn't been great. On the other sideline, you got to go ahead.
Isn't NIL great, Aaron? You throw a touchdown pass, make $3 million during the commercial. I mean, isn't NIL great?
Work with Brian Bosworth. That's good. Yeah. The other side of that is Jay Norvell. I'm sure he's on the sideline saying, guys, we're all right. Let's go down, get some points. Now, they really haven't moved the ball much, but you still have to stay positive with your veteran quarterback. They get some points. They get the ball coming out of half because they deferred and won the toss early. This is their opportunity, and this is one of those coaching moments, Coach. Both sides, we can blow this thing out on one side and really stretch the lead, start getting some guys on the field. I'm sure Jay Norvell's saying, hey, man, we're in this game if we can mount a drive right here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But the fact that Texas has 46 yards rushing in over a quarter and a half is pretty telling as well to our offensive line and possibly to our running back. But from what I've seen from our offensive line, run blocking, it hasn't been up to standard yet. And again, first game jitters maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
By the way, that last series, Cole Hudson was in at left guard. So for those keeping track of that offensive line rotation, it's been Cole came in for DJ Campbell at right guard. Then he just came in for Hayden Connor at left guard. So he is the first guy off the bench at both guard spots in this game.
Well, and Coach, you mentioned it earlier. This is maybe the first time for the Texas program in a while where they have so much depth that if one guy's not getting it done, come on, sit down, grab some wood. We're going to put someone else in. That hadn't been the luxury that they've had, last half decade or so, maybe longer. That's the ultimate motivator, right?
No doubt. The bench is the best motivator there is.
And so we'll see. Here comes the defense with a chance inside 6 minutes in the second quarter, maybe get the ball back again for the offense and create some real separation in this season opener for the Longhorns. All
I
right.
think you got your second team defensive line in. Bill Norton over the ball. I think I see Finkley out there. Vern Broughton. So they're kind of mixing and matching there. I think Alfred Collins and Lolay, I think, will play a lot together. But there's Vern Broughton and Ethan Burke in with Justice Finkley there. Leona LaFowl in at middle backer. Maurice Blackwell at the Sam. Michael Taff at one safety. Makuba at the other. And Jalen Gilbo looks like he's about to blitz it off the nickel spot.
Yeah, that's not a bad lineup, by the way.
No, it's solid.
That's a ball on the ground, but they're calling him down. So it's going to be 3rd and ½ a yard.
Yeah, they ran away from the blitz that time, got to the outside, and nearly got the first down. Ball did come loose as they're trying to poke that thing loose, but be 3rd and short here. Texas has been pretty stout so far, just three.
That ball's out, guys. If they review this play, that ball's out, and that's going to be a fumble recovery for Texas. I can't believe they're not going to review this. Ball's out.
Oh, it's definitely out.
Ball's out. Sark needs to call a timeout.
Yep, I think we'll see if that happens. Or
How are they not reviewing this? Wow, that was an obvious fumble.
Wow, that is somebody in the press box isn't telling them to call a timeout right now.
Yeah, I agree. I would have called it from the Marriott if I could.
Yeah, that's a question that Sark will get, I'm sure. Why not challenge that? Do something, at least stop the clock, take a timeout, and it's change of possession. If you just go look at that, it won't take long.
Yeah, that was coaching staff should have hit timeout on that.
Yeah, it didn't, and it felt like even the tackler maybe should have been a little more animated with Coach Sark saying, "Hey man, that ball came out. That's our ball." But a first down is.
Guys, wait until y'all see this one now.
There you go. First,
you're a little ahead of us there, Jerry.
I am sorry. That's why I didn't give it away. I want y'all to see it.
All right, one could have been turnover, and then the actual turnover is Fowler Nicolosi tried to take a shot, but triple coverage essentially for Texas down there. And again, showing that speed on the back end for the Longhorns. As Jahdae Barron, Mr. Playmaker, he's up for he's on the watch list for the Nagurski Award. That's essentially the defensive Heisman Trophy, and they want to move him all over the field like a chess piece. It's good. That's just a ball hawk right there.
Coach, he didn't bite on the fake, did he? And then that was
he didn't. No, he didn't. That was a great play.
Great play by Barron. Instinctive football play.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry and Coach, we talked about Jahdae, and there he is making his first of what will probably be many big plays this year. What when you have Jalen Gilbo manning the star, I think we just saw where Jahdae can move around the field and really use his instincts to create plays just like that.
Jaden, Jerry, catch the football.
Oh wow, Jaden Blue with the ball on the ground.
Oh, Jaden.
All right, that one's on. That's on the running back, obviously. But this is now the opportunity. The defense is forced to turnover. Still pitching a first half shutout. 3:23 to go. You got your 4-minute offense. Drop one on first down. We'll see if they can move this ball. And ideally, Coach, you'd like to take some time, but punch it in and not give Colorado State the ball back.
Yeah, no doubt. A little bit of strategy here. You don't want to give them too much time, but you just want to keep things going at your normal pace at this point.
Hey, Coach, this play design right here, what they came back to is really nice.
Yeah,
Colorado State's going to play this off. This is all day long.
Yeah, you hear run pass option. That's almost a pass option. It's almost a pass run option because that's basically a run.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, Mike.
It's like an old toss sweep, Coach, back. An old toss sweep back in the day.
That's all it was. Yeah.
All right, Horns now approaching the red zone again. And this can be a point, Jerry, where your point of last time that maybe in the heat of middle of the afternoon, August 31st, is Colorado State defense starting to get a little tired. You can run them right off the field here.
Yeah, there's big second 12 coming up. Nice way to get Ryan Nibble with the ball. His first action, his first carrier reception as a Texas Longhorn, by the way.
Yeah, sure was. Yeah.
Approaching 250 total yards for the Longhorns now of offense, but still not a lot of run game. They're going exclusively with Ewers' arm right now. And there's Isaiah Bond making another play. And as you said, Jerry, they go for 400 if they just keep protecting the quarterback.
I got good news for Arch Manning. When he gets into this game, this defense is going to be so tired, it's going to be easy for him. He's going to throw for 150 in this game because these guys are going to be gassed in this last part of the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, time of possession pretty even right now with about 13 approaching 15 minutes for both teams. But yes, Texas is rotating a lot of people. Colorado State's staying with their main personnel groups, and it's hot out there, guys. I was down on campus for the pregame. It's warm.
Yeah, it's the only time I've lost weight recently was walking around Beaver Boulevard today. No water weight left in this body.
Hey, let me tell you one more time here. Our second quarter brought to you by my buddy Anthony Hippolito. He wants your vote if you live in Hays County or know people who live in Hays County. Coming up at the ballot box in November. He is an avid watcher of the On Texas Football channel. Coach and Jerry and all the folks there, watches all the shows. Actually watches Coffee and Football when he's working out in the morning before he goes over to the office. But Anthony is a current member of the Hays County Sheriff's team, but he now wants to run to be the sheriff. He's a longtime Hays County resident. Actually went to Hays High School way back in the day. 26 years he's been in law enforcement, retired as an APD officer, and now wants to bring all that experience to Hays County. His biggest issues are obviously integrity and transparency, so you trust those who protect you. Also, there's a fentanyl crisis in Hays County that he wants to try to focus and tackle like a linebacker would. He wants to enhance public safety, protect the schools, and be involved with the community as much as he can. And he already is. If you know people in Hays County, you know Anthony Hippolito. He's around all the time, going to football games in Dripping Springs and Hays and all over the county. So if you live in Hays County and plan to tell or people, your family, friends that live in Hays County, when they go to the ballot box in November, tell them vote for Anthony Hippolito for Hays County Sheriff, safety, integrity for a stronger community. And again, he's an absolute lover of the Texas Football channel and said, I want to be a part of that watch along this time because I love watching it. So appreciate Anthony. Appreciate you guys. All right, what are we thinking here, guys? I'm with you, Coach Shipley. I'd like to see, you still got 2:12 on the clock. You're inside the high red zone here. You've passed it to get down here, but boy, you'd really like to see this offensive line flex a little bit and drive something into the end zone.
Yeah, I really would. We've only got 5 more yards rushing than Colorado State does. So that needs to change and change quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be first and 10 from the Colorado State 7-yard line, 7-yard line, or 17, I guess it is, coming out, right? But I would love to see a little dose of Trey Wisner here. Get this run game going a little bit.
Yep, and obviously we know everything we're going to talk about today will be, compared to what that's going to look like next week at Michigan. And we know Michigan's got one of the stout defensive fronts in all of college football. Couple of first-round draft picks on their D-line. So they really need to get this. I know Sark's going to say, you got to go with what's working on a given day. But this is what this game's about, guys, is getting ready for what's going to come next week in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, for sure. I think, Coach, we had a question this morning in our pregame, which I want you to answer. Because we've talked about headset communications. What do you think about the tablets being allowed? How big is that for the coaching staff and the players to have the iPads, the tablets on the sidelines?
The question I have about that is, are the tablets just still pictures or are they video?
Pretty sure it's video.
You're pretty sure it's video, yeah?
Yeah, that's huge because you've never been able to use that before. You just hope your coaches in the press box could find a replay on the TV that's up there in the box. And that was the only shot you had at getting to see a play again, either that or on the big screen. But still, you still got to have signals because the quarterback can't get the word all the way to the far side receiver. So you're still having to use some signals.
Man, Colorado State's getting roasted in this man coverage now. They're getting tired and they're getting roasted.
There you go. Isaiah Bond, his first touchdown as a Longhorn, as Qunn Ewers is shredding this secondary. Yeah, the man coverage ain't going to work. Playing off ain't going to work. And Texas now extending the lead to 24. Exactly the recipe we talked about. Get a stop, which was a turnover, and put it in the end zone and really separate this game. 23-0 now for Texas. And one more time with the ball with the Colorado State. That touchdown right there, guys, probably means we see Arch Manning pretty early into the third quarter. And that's some breathing room right there.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it right now. And Quinn's 16 of 22, arguably has 3 drops, 230 yards, couple touchdowns, a bad interception for a third-year quarterback. We got to be real. But look, he's having a pretty accurate day when they give him time. Now, Colorado State's not good outside of a couple of safeties. That was a face mask too, by the way. But the corners cannot run with the Texas receivers. The linebackers cannot run with the Texas tight end. So there are mismatches all over the field, Coach. And if the offensive line will protect, Texas is going to throw for 400 plus today. Now, it may be Qunn 300 and Arch 150, but there's a reason Cam Ward threw for 450 or 460 last year and Shedeur Sanders 370.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But I would still like to see our rushing numbers come up, and I'm sure they will in the second half. I'm sure we'll run the ball more, but I just want to see our offensive line get in a groove and start really controlling the line of scrimmage.
100% agree with that. Speaking of Cam Ward, I saw where, of course, he was at Washington State last year at Miami. Miami up 17-3 on Florida in the swamp right now. I'm a big believer in Miami this year, and Cam Ward's a real good player out of the state of Texas, already up 2 touchdowns on the road in their opener. So the U with Mario Cristobal playing well early. By the way, go ahead.
This is the toughest part of my job, and you guys know I have fun with it because we just try to have fun, but I'm a coach's kid. Coach Shipley's a coach. We know what's going to happen to Billy Napier, and Billy's a great guy. I'm sure Coach knows him. Has come across him in recruiting. He's a great guy, but man, if he gets blown out in this game, it's dang near over for him.
Yeah, it is. And
he's got the toughest schedule maybe ever in college football that he's been dealt. And you know, in an opener at home against one of your in-state rivals, you need to perform well there, be ready. But down 17-3 already in that game. I just saw the score flash, so I have not seen the highlights. But
guys, Alfred Collins looking good today now for me. I mean, he just made a really good play on 1st and 10.
Well, look at the size. I mean, that's what the NFL scouts, there's a ton of them there at the game right now, watching Quinn Ewers, but watching guys like Alfred Collins, who just has that body you can't coach, that size, the length, and now start to put it together. This is a big senior year for him and the Longhorns. Because if he has one of those, you know, more Jomo or, Tavondre Sweat kind of breakout years, watch out for Texas on that side of the ball.
Now, here's the crazy thing. We got a 3rd and 10 coming up. If Texas could get out of this, if they can force a punt now, 3 and out, they have 3 first downs to work with. And Colorado State ain't covering anybody right now.
Yeah,
we can come out with 300 yards passing in the first half.
Yeah.
If we get the ball back.
They can get off the field right here. Colorado State's that defense is gassed. They're in trouble.
Yeah, those guys are going to be like, oh, no, we got to go right back on the field. Come on now. Got to chase those guys around. It's hot out there. But yeah, this is a big play for Jay Norvell's team. I mean, they're getting handed pretty good right now. But they give it back to Quinn Ewers, who's feeling it right now. That is not a good thing for his defense. But so far, the defense, as that message says right there, has been outstanding. Fast coverage, turnovers forced, and there's another knockdown ball. Vernon Broughton that time. Defense looks outstanding, guys.
Hey, I got to shout out Brandon Huey, family member, pass batted down, family member.
Oh, yep, there's big Vernon Broughton who got married.
He's ready, baby.
Yep, VB right there. He loved that story about he didn't play in the spring game because he was getting married and he didn't have the guts to tell his wife that to move the date, so he had to get married at the spring game.
Smart man. Yeah. Why start off in the doghouse?
Yeah. Coach, I only got to be with you.
Silas Bolton's got room. Watch out.
How about a punt return?
They outkicked the coverage. Not smart. This is going to be 31-0 at the half.
There goes Bolden. Yeah, there's the speed we've heard about all camp and putting it down the field. That's the special teams creating a play inside a minute. That's the phase that really, to me, that can separate Texas and get them into that elite status. If your offense and defense are solid, your special teams can play special. You're really tough to beat against really anybody. There's Silas Bolden from Oregon State transfer.
Wow. Already in field goal range.
Yeah, you'd like to punch this in, demoralize this team, and you'll see a lot of Arch Manning in the second half, you have to think. Because Quinn Ewers can go over 300 yards on this drive. Put up the numbers you want, and then you can go have a Dr. Pepper, Coach, and give it over to the other guys,
Yeah, no doubt.
Somebody, Lou Dog, what number is Alfred Collins? Alfred Collins is 95. He's the guy that just pulled the big spin move on that 3rd and 10. It wasn't him that I don't think blocked the pass, but he was the guy that threw the big spin move, the big body inside.
Yeah, Vernon Broughton had the
Vernon Broughton had the down.
Hey, real quick on the tablets you guys were talking about. I remember, I know basketball, Jerry, Rodney Terry has talked about how their players love it. Like they go in at half and the video team is cut down, where they're not, breaking down on defense or whatever they're looking at. And coach, this kids today grow up on screens, man, to be able to see the play and see what the coach is talking about with their own eyes and understand, okay, here's what he's talking about. That is immensely helpful if you can do it in real time and kind of redirect some things that you're seeing.
Yeah, it is. And it just another move towards the NFL. Everything we're doing we're just copycatting NFL, and we're not far away from being the NFL.
By the way, somebody's asking that's in the that's at the game asking if we've seen Wingo back in the game. I don't think we have. So something to watch for there.
Yeah, 2 early catches, 25 yards. But, we haven't seen him since. It's really been Isaiah Bond leads the way with 61 yards and Matthew Golden blue. But as we thought, it's going to be a committee, and now Silas Bolden on the special teams really electrifying the crowd and giving Texas a chance to really put this thing in cruise control going into the second half. But I'm with you, Coach Shipley, on the run game, right? I mean, maybe you're playing coy for next week, but at the same time, it's nice that you can shred this secondary, which you think you probably can if you protect your quarterback. But boy, the second half, you'd like to really see them get physical, run at this team, and just work on the things they're going to be needed to be sharp on a week from now. Yeah, no doubt.
Double tight, Hellman, Nyblack. About time we see Nyblack do something in the passing game, guys.
Yeah, he's got speed they can't cover too, right? I mean, that's a mismatch really against anybody in that secondary or linebacker core. Wide open again, he overthrew it for Matthew Golden. Mm-hmm. Miscommunication that time.
Miscommunication there. Yeah, exactly, Aaron. But again, everybody's running wide open at this point. So it's all about
it's crazy.
It's all about just getting the ball, protecting the quarterback, getting the ball out, receivers being where they're supposed to be with their correct timing, and good things are going to happen.
A little underneath pass, and now it'll set up a shorter 3rd down. And that's Nyblack. Nyblack was in on that muff punt on the special teams that helped the Longhorns create a possession that they did early. The defense has been outstanding in this game so far, and now the offense trying to take advantage of another big play by the special teams. There's Jaden Blue trying to push for the 1st down. It's going to be short. What are you guys doing here with 27 seconds?
You're going for it. 100%. Go for it. Bring in Trey Wisner. Run that ball. He had 2 timeouts left. Sark's upset. Somebody's saying it in the Q&A in the thread saying Sark's pissed.
Yeah, that's
or do you throw a play action here?
Sark probably would. 2 timeouts left. I hope Jaden Blue's your running back. I hope they run this thing. But look,
yeah, I do too. But it wouldn't be crazy to run a play action, a high percent play action.
Yeah, especially the way they've been protecting Qunn here in the second quarter. First quarter, they had some issues, but he hasn't really been touched here in the second 15 minutes. So you feel like you can give him some time. And as Jerry has said, they can't run with these receivers right now. Just run them free and easy. But 4th and 1, big spot here. Longhorns really looking to put the foot on the accelerator here before the half.
There you go.
There it is, Coach, right up the gut, and Longhorns are going to be in the business and probably going to need to take a timeout.
Yeah. Jerry, how are you getting the game quicker than we are? What's the deal?
Marriott Hotel has super TV coverage, I guess.
Yeah, I'm a Marriott Bonvoy member. I get super boom internet.
Yeah.
6 points, Texas. Another touchdown pass for Qunn Ewers, and that'll cap off one heck of a second quarter, Coach. When you came on, you're the good luck charm, Coach.
You are, Coach. You're not going to the golf course yet.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I don't know about that, but glad to see it. Glad to see a 31-0 halftime lead if we can kick this extra point.
Yeah, and Jerry, that's something as you got off in the first quarter we talked about. I mean, this team can really explode on you. I mean, they've got that Golden State Warriors kind of spurt ability, and there it is, 24 quick points. But it was all phased. It was offense, defense, special teams. The next thing you know, what was kind of a nail biter in the first quarter is now comfortable at halftime.
Yeah. So look, one thing, it's not tooting the horn. This is just what I was told. Okay, I've been told for weeks and weeks that people that are on the live streams, Qunn feels like he has the best rapport with Matthew Golden.
Oh, wow.
I think there's a reason Matthew Golden started today, and now you're seeing that. I think Qunn and Matthew Golden are on a really good page early on in their season playing together, and it probably will be their only season playing together unless it's in the NFL one day. But Qunn really, from what I've been told multiple times, really likes Matthew Golden and what he can do in this offense and feels really comfortable getting the football to him.
Yeah.
Jerry, did you have a chance to see Georgia much?
Yes. I watched a little bit second half of that game. I didn't see early, but Clemson, obviously, Dabo's digging his own grave, not going to the portal. But Georgia, Clemson still has 3 or 4 NFL guys on their defensive front. And somebody in Peter Woods who could be a high draft pick. Georgia's offensive line leaned on them as the game moved along. But that freshman running back, Nate Frazier's a stud.
He is.
Georgia's defense is, I'm not sure they're up front. They're not great like they were for those 2 national title teams, but they're really good. Georgia, because I still think Clemson, even though I kind of have fun with Dabo because he's hard-headed and it's going to end up getting him ran out of there by his own fan base, they still have a lot of good players, and they're an 8-9 win team. And Georgia really leaned on them in the second half of that game. Coach, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought second half was just total domination. It was, and I'd kind of counted Georgia coming to the DKR as a win. I thought maybe the fact that we get them at home with a pumped up crowd. I'm still not saying it won't be, but that was kind of a statement game when it was all said and done.
Yeah. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I was told on Monday that if Kirby had the chance to punch in an extra one on Dabo, he was going to do it. I think for recruiting purposes, Georgia wanted to make a statement against Clemson. And I think Clemson had 137 yards until midway through the fourth quarter. Clemson may not be what they used to be, but 137 yards against a 9-win team, it's pretty stout.
Yeah, that's going to get us to halftime at 31-0. 24-point second quarter. Quinn Ewers over 300 first half passing yards. Did have the 1 interception, but 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to Matthew Golden, another to Isaiah Bond, who is the Longhorns' leading receiver. We'll go through some of those stats coming up. But my thought, the statement game for sure, but we know Georgia, they're going to play 3 of the top 6 teams in the country on the road this year. They're going to have a chance to make more statements, right? I mean, they got to go to Tuscaloosa in a couple of weeks, play Alabama. They got to come here. They got to go to Ole Miss. So, that SEC East, they were kind of protected by the SEC East. It's been so down. Now they're going to have to really show it. And if they go undefeated, that will be one of the great campaigns ever, because that is a really tough schedule. 3 top 6 teams in their building.
Yeah, and think about Georgia playing at DeBoer, at Sark, at Kiffin, the 3 best play callers in the SEC. If Georgia wins all 3 of those road games, you just tip your hat and move on, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they're real good. Obviously, I think the biggest strength of Georgia is they have no weaknesses, Coach. I mean, they just don't have one. So if you're a coach, you're trying to build a game plan. Okay, we can attack them here on either side of the ball or even on special teams. They really don't have one, which makes I think they and Michigan were the only 2 teams last year to finish in the top 10 at every position in the PFF Pro Football Focus ranking. So every position was top 10. Their biggest strength is they have no weaknesses.
Yeah, I'm only hoping the crowd, when they come into DKR, is a factor, and we can get a little momentum and come out early, kind of get them on their heels a little bit, because, of course, the Sugar Bowl, everybody remembers that, 2018. They thought they should have been playing the national championship, and they were like, oh, man, we got to play in the Sugar Bowl, And we were like, oh, my gosh, we're playing in the Sugar Bowl, And by the time Georgia realized that the Longhorns came to play, it was too late. Bevo had already got after their little bulldog. And, and by the time they woke up, it was too late. We had all the momentum in the world. And, if something like that happens, good. I don't know that Georgia is going to let Texas sneak up on them twice like that, but it'll be a great game. It will be a great game if we can get past Michigan, and the other games up till that point. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, I totally agree. And by the way, Coach, did you watch OU last night?
I watched a little bit of it.
I thought their offensive line struggled because Temple's a 3-9, 4-8 team. Colorado State's a better team than Temple. I thought Oklahoma has some OL issues.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, and kind of like we worried about, they worried about Oklahoma fans. They struggled with Jackson Arnold throwing the deep ball, right? I mean, throwing the ball down the field. They were clearly the better football team. Sam Drayton is already in trouble there at Temple. The former Longhorn running backs coach, who's a heck of a guy, but that's a tough job at Temple. But yeah, I saw some of the issues with Oklahoma. Their defense is going to be great. I think A&M and Texas A&M and Oklahoma are very similar. They're going to have to lean on their defenses heavily as they try to figure some things out on offense throughout the course of this season. So we'll see. Hey, some super chats coming in here. Let's get to some questions. Let's do it for Coach. O-line looking questionable right now. Michigan's D-line going to be a problem if they don't pick it up, guys. What do you say?
Yeah, Michigan's D-line is going to be a problem for everybody, to be fair. But, I mean, when you got 2 first-rounders on the interior and a guy Josiah Stewart on the edge who's going to be a high draft pick as well, I mean, that line's going to be in trouble for everybody. I think the bigger – Coach, what Michigan's going to try to do to Texas. They're going to try to bully ball them with the run and RPO game off of that against the Texas defensive front and really challenge them. And on the offensive and on the defensive line – they are going to absolutely try to play in Texas sideline of scrimmage and see if Texas is going to match their physicality. It's pretty simple what Michigan's going to try to do to Texas in this game.
Yeah, it really is. And this first half for us, for the offensive line, I mean, let's just call it what it is. 31-0 is impressive, but protection at times was questionable, especially in the first quarter. The running game has been questionable. And this may have been exactly what we needed, because Kyle Flood is an offensive line coach who's going to tell them exactly like it is. He's not looking at the scoreboard. He's going to look at the game film. And, again, you are what the game film says you are, okay? Regardless of what the scoreboard says, you are what your game film says you are. And give them a chance to get some things corrected, get some new people in there if that's what they need to do. I don't know if that's what they need to do, but – the bar is not Colorado State. That's not the bar. And so let's don't kid ourselves by saying we have 61 yards rushing and a half against probably a 4-8 team, maybe a 5-7 team. That's not going to cut it. If you double our rushing yards, we're 122. That's not a great rushing game over a 4-8 team.
Yeah. And yes, you have to throw in the caveat of it's vanilla against this team getting ready for Michigan, but they need to be more powerful up front for sure to handle with that group up in Ann Arbor. It says, I don't like close, entertaining games when it comes to Texas. Well, then you didn't like the first quarter and you liked the second quarter with 24 points. Longhorns exploded. Thank you, Jeff, for the super chat. That's very nice. Jerry, why haven't we seen Gibson on 4th and 1? He's the bigger back, Wisner and blue finesse. Gibson, the bruiser. How do you think that shakes out as the year goes? How do they find that short yardage guy?
I think obviously Trey Wisner, he was in on both red zone rods here, by the way. But both Trey Wisner looks like he is the back inside the 10-yard line for Texas. I think we'll see some Jarrett Gibson obviously in the second half. And here's the key for me. I think one thing with Jarrett Gibson is because the offensive line, maybe what Rod was struggling in pass pro, that's not where you bring in the true freshman to help in pass pro, Coach. I think when Jarrett Gibson gets into this game, though, in the second half, this is going to be a tired defense. He's going to look really good running it. I just don't know if Texas wanted to put him in that pass pro position and everything they do with Blue out of the backfield. I think Jarrett Gibson is going to be a situational player early while he gets his feet wet, but he'll impress in the second half of this game against a Colorado State defense that's looks like they were walking around for 3 hours on Bevo Boulevard like me this morning.
There you go. They're hot and tired. They're hot and tired out there. That's the fact. Hey, Rod, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, fellas? Appreciate you guys holding it down. I'm excited. I'll give you my thoughts whenever y'all want them, but I'm excited about what I've seen so far.
Do it, Rod. Throw it out there. Let's go.
What's your thoughts on the first half, Rod?
Oh man, how much time y'all got? All right, let's start with defense. I mean, what can you say? I mean, at this point, I don't think Colorado State has really done much of anything. I think the Texas defense has looked really good. Love the way they're moving Jahdae Barron around. He comes up with the big interception. We can break that down later. That was a NFL play that'll be on the highlight reel whenever he's drafted. I mean, that's that kind of play. NFL scouts salivating over a guy making that kind of play. And it was a football IQ kind of play, which we'll talk about later. But like what I've seen about the defense so far. I mean, they've been great. What can you say about a goose egg on the board? I mean, that's all you need. If they can keep that up, then I mean, that's self-explanatory in terms of how dominant the defense has been. Offensively, I heard you guys talking about the offensive line. You haven't had a dominant run blocking performance so far. That can improve, but I've liked so far some of the diversity on offense. I've seen the pony package. It ain't dead, so I love that. Seen some of the red zone struggles, some of the lack of focus in the red zone. Obviously the interception is that's not ideal, something like that. So pass protection could be an issue too. But I think ultimately, I think it's been a good product so far in the first half. I'm usually uber critical. I've been really, really impressed with what I've seen so far. Offensive line, have they been dominant? No, and you got to consider the opponent, of course. But I think overall, I like what I've seen.
Hey, Rod, break down the Jahdae Barron play because we were obviously live for. The crazy thing was he didn't bite on the fake, right? No. He didn't bite on the screen fake. And then he came off his man, and as you said, to walk people through that play because that was a hell of a football instinctive play.
Yeah, it was. They were in a 2-by-1 set. Essentially, made like 20 personnel. They put the H-back tight end in the backfield on the 2-by-1 set. Jahdae Barron on the twin side. And so they faked the wide receiver screen on that twin side over there. Texas running cover 3. They do. I think it's cover 3, and they actually because – on that other side over there, you did have that receiver was single. There was no true number 2. The number 2 was in the backfield. So that was a bump and run on the field side. Remember, I told you guys they're going to play more bump and run on the field and the boundary side. You're starting to see that. And give Jahdae Barron a lot of props, man. He looked for work, coach. You always know that saying. Look for work. He didn't have any work. He had nobody to cover. Texas was in cover 3. Ultimately, and he had nobody really to defend. So he started to sink back, recognize kind of the route combination he was dealing with, and saw on the far side of the formation that they were running the post, and they call it robbing the post. It's one of the toughest things to do in football, but really elite high football IQ guys can do it. You can see the play developing a kind of a football investigator like Jahdae Barron, and he went to rob the post from the other side of the field as the other corner. And they ran the post route. And honestly, the truth is, guys, it was to Torrey Horton, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
He had a shot. He had beaten. I love Malik Muhammad, but he had a little step on him, and the safety had taken the wrong angle. I believe it was Makuba took the wrong angle, and it was a nice throw. If he didn't go rob that post, there's a good chance. Go watch it. That Torrey Horton comes down with that, and that is a hell of a play, man. Like I said, it'll be on the draft film. That to me, I went and watched it like 3 or 4 times, Coach. It had me giddy.
Heck of a play and heck of analysis. That's what you get from Rod Babers right there here in the halftime. And also coming up in our third quarter, we'll talk more about the overall speed of that defense. They're everywhere. And yes, Jahdae Barron, that's what they want to use him as a chess piece and just be a smart, instinctual football player because that Nicolosi Fowler had no idea he was going to be there, right? He thought he had the safety and the corner beat, and he thought it was going to be, wide open towards the pylon. And here comes number 7 out of nowhere to make a play. That's big time right there. Hey, let me tell you real quick, guy, our halftime sponsor bringing you our analysis of a 31-0 Texas lead. Also apologize. I said Quinn Ewers has 300 yards passing. No, Quinn has 248 on 18 completions. The Texas is over 300 total yards if you throw in the 61 rush yards. But One Source Gas of Austin and Central Texas is our halftime sponsor. My buddy Richard and his team there. If you need compressed gas for any of your businesses, service industry, medical industry, hospitality, of course. You can't have bar taps, those tap beers without the CO2. And my buddies at One Source Gas have grown like crazy in the last decade, experienced because they just do it right. I mean, you realize that One Source Gas, when you get signed up for them to deliver your compressed gas of any kind, CO2, nitrogen, helium, oxygen, for whatever your industry, they don't lock you into a contract. There's some companies out there lock you into a 7-year deal. And then, the service is not going to be what it needs to be. Richard and his team are not locking you into a contract. It's a month-by-month deal. and they know they're going to keep your business every single time. That's why they've grown like they have up and down I-35. They're growing in the Braunfels and San Marcos, Austin, of course. Find them online, OneSourceGasATX.com. Gosh, they do some huge accounts all over Central Texas. Del Diamond is one of their big ones for sure. And gosh, Coda, they're the best. It's OneSourceGasATX.com. That's OneSourceGas. If you do have a business, a bar, a restaurant, coming online or give them a try for all of your compressed gas needs, bringing you halftime. Hey, Rod, real quick while you're jumping in, the speed of the defense has just really jumped off the screen. Sark said it's his fastest group, and I think you're seeing that, whether it be Anthony Hill all over the field. These guys can really run side to side and get after you up the middle.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And I think the versatility is something they've emphasized that also jumps out to me. I don't necessarily think and I'll go back and watch the film. Something tells me that they're not necessarily emphasizing the boundary in the field with those corners anymore. I think I see those guys. So I think that's because they believe they got versatility. Guys that can play boundary, guys that can play field. Right? They're not even bringing in guys who are strictly field or boundary corners anymore. The versatility, like I said, Janae Barron's already played nickel and played corner for you out there. I love the depth they've thrown out there, especially at linebacker. I've been surprised at how many guys they've thrown out there at linebacker. Even the way they've used Colin Simmons and his versatility on the edge. We saw him out there in coverage, right, Jerry? You I would say you previewed that or talked about that in the offseason. They were going to use him in some versatile ways. So I think that's something that jumps out to me too. It's just early on and obviously just first watch, but I think they were using guys in multiple ways too. That's going to help them in the future. So I love the way the defense is looking right now. I'm not gonna like the Gavin Holmes playing bump and run coverage on the deep ball. That PBU he had was one of the best. That might be the best play I've seen Gavin Holmes have since he's been on the 40 acres.
I agree.
It was textbook. You put that play in like your film roll, coach, and that's what you teach guys technique wise. Hey, can you do that? If you do that every time, the NFL scouts gonna start looking at you. And then you tell me, Jared, that then they'd add him to the list of NFL scouts, add him to the list.
Yep,
now we see why.
Yeah, that when the NFL scouts came through for fall practices, he was not on their initial evaluation list, a true evaluation list, other than knowing who the guy was. Once they saw him in fall camp, they put him on their eval list for the season, a couple of scouts.
That play, I see why. That was a great play. It really was. It was I think Armani Winfield was the wide receiver, but I mean he was playing bump and run. But the key is, guys, when they were playing bump and run last year, they were letting the receivers get on top of them, letting them stack them. Right, you take away all the short intermediate routes, but you obviously you're susceptible to the deep ball unless you're playing on more of that upfield shoulder. And he did. He stayed on the upfield shoulder, had the angle on him, and was able to get the PBU. That was textbook. I didn't see that from them last year when they were playing bump and run coverage on some of those deeper balls. So I think it's obvious they made some tries. Jalen Gilbo starting at nickel. I said he was going to start, and Janae Barron was going to start at corner. It made sense. Why would you be putting him on the first team all training camp and then switch it up for the Colorado State game? Didn't make any sense. So that's how much they trust him, which means Gavin Holmes is also a starter in their mind. And they believe they got multiple guys that can, like 3 guys that can start at corner, 4 guys potentially that can start at corner or nickel, depending on the combination they have.
Hey, I want to bring up this comment from Rick Ambergi, guys, because we talked, the interior offensive line has had a couple struggles in this game. Big Cam is dominating. Cameron Williams looks really good out there to me, guys. I don't know if y'all noticed Big Cam, but blocking in space, he can really down block now. When you pull somebody behind his butt, he can really down block. Cam Williams looking good in his second career start.
100%. Hey, Coach, by the way, on the Rod's defense, under 100 yards, under 80 yards total for the first half for Colorado State. I mean, that's a veteran offense with a veteran quarterback that's had all offseason, and they can't muster 80 yards. They're averaging 2.9 yards per play. No real explosive plays either. And as Rod documented or took you through, would have maybe had an explosive play on the post route, but Janae Barron investigated it and snuck it out. Coach, what's your speech at halftime right now? What are you telling you? I mean, you're up 31-0. You're dominating the stat book, but I'm sure, as Sark says, you got to go by, as you said, the game film. You got to find out where are we struggling and what are we working on in the second half.
Yeah, we have to play at our level no matter who we're playing against or how well they're playing. We have to set the level every game, every half, every quarter, and he's telling them to keep your foot on the gas. the scoreboard looks good, but there's some other areas that aren't looking good, and some guys need to start getting after it. And so you certainly don't want to be a downer, but you want to, you've got them down in a street fight, and you want to put your foot on their neck and finish it the right way, and then let the other guys, get some playing time. Let them have a little opportunity to they've been working hard all training camp, all summer, all spring. Let them have a little of a spotlight and show the world what they can do as well.
Aaron, I want to say this real quick. We have over 4,100 people watching this, whether YouTube, Twitter. I want to say thanks to everybody for always supporting On Texas Football, man. We have so much fun with you guys, all you guys in the chat. The second half's going to be fun because we're going to get to see a lot of Arch Manning. And this is going to be his first. I know he got in a little bit against Tech Rod and Coach Shipley. This is going to be our first time to really see Sark let Arch turn it loose. I have a feeling in the second half of this game.
And I hope it won't just be turning and handing it off. And I don't think it will be. I think he'll let him throw some balls down the field and, kind of stretch his legs a little bit in this second half and show people what he's capable. We know what he's capable of doing, but it's something else for him to go out and do it in a game instead of a spring game.
Coach, speak to this. Don't you, because Qunn has been injured the last 2 years, don't you have to get Arch ready? Because I know you in the coach's office, you want Qunn to have a healthy last year at Texas, but the reality is he's missed multiple games each of the last 2 years. So you have to get Arch ready this year.
You've got to get him ready without creating water cooler talk.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this. Look at the stats compared. These guys. Half to half. You can't do that. We know who our quarterback is, and most importantly, Manning knows who the quarterback is, and he knows he's got to be ready at any time because he may have to take us through 10 or 12 ball games. You don't ever know what that's going to be. He has to be ready, and this is a great opportunity for him to get some meaningful reps. I say meaningful. We all know Colorado State's not going to come back and challenge us in the second half, but it's still meaningful reps in terms of what Arch is going to get this preseason.
Hey guys, do you think because Colorado State receives the opening kickoff, if they force a 3 and out, is it Arch from the jump or is it Qunn one more time?
No, I think Qunn will get a couple series.
I do too.
Put him over 300 yards, maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns. Let him have a great day because he's had 2 or 3 drops in the first half of this game. Let him get through a couple series. If Texas punches in, gets 10 more points on the board, then I think we see the move.
And there's one more thing that a head coach has to deal with, and it's not something the head coaches want to talk about. In fact, they probably won't talk about it. But you've got a candidate,
yes,
for the Heisman Trophy. Okay, you don't want to pull him out and leave 150 yards on the field. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important for him to get Arch some good, meaningful snaps and let him throw the ball down the field. But at the same time, I'm sure there's a dollar amount, but there's really no telling what a Heisman Trophy winner will get you in your program. So he has to keep that in mind too, and make sure that he's keeping Qunn in the Heisman conversation week to week.
No, that's the hype and conversation you want. All right, Coach Shipley, that's great stuff, and I appreciate your coverage here in the second quarter and into the halftime. Enjoy the second half, and we'll check in obviously when we can. And that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. Have a good second half.
Nice,
There it is. The X's and O's from Coach gave you his halftime speech, and now it's Jerry and Rod, myself, and our third quarter brought to you by Spreadwise. I'm going to tell you all about it throughout the third quarter. Your secret weapon, if you're in a football elimination pool league, you're going to need this, and it's only one of its kind on the market. If you're in one of those suicide/elimination leagues, you got to get Spreadwise. I'll tell you all about it here throughout the quarter. Here we go. Longhorns have allowed just 5 first downs so far. They start on defense, and we'll see how they pick up where they left off. But there's a good run to start the second half for Colorado State. Good run off the left side that time by Marshall, and Yeah, they were dominant, Rod. I mean, I know there's really not much to nitpick about the way they played in that first half. They forced turnovers, they had pressure, they were fast, they tackled. I'm sure the message from Sark is just more of the same.
Yeah, and I thought actually the young man Marshall ran the ball pretty well for Colorado State, more than I thought they would.
Heck of a play coming up here by Barron Sorrell, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry's got the jump on us by a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Hey, he tossed off a Ram double team on that one.
I mean, Barron Sorrell is – here we go. That's a great play.
He might be the most underrated. Hey, Rod, is it fair to say Barron Sorrell, because Sark can't stop talking about him, he's maybe the most under-talked about player on the Texas team as far as a really talented guy.
Yeah, no, I told him he's transformed his body, turned himself into an NFL player too. The only thing he had left was to add pass rushing moves of some kind, but he's an impact player, and I love how he plays the run game too. He's a force in the run game.
Yeah, so far so good on the defensive front. Defense, again, only 5 first downs allowed. Let's see if they can get off the field on this opening drive of the third quarter, brought to you by Spreadwise. Oh. All right, they're going to get their first down of the second half, just their 6th of the game, and that's a little comeback route.
It's the wrong angle.
Yeah.
But he barely left him enough sideline, so I say the wrong angle, but he didn't leave him any room to work, so it's not a bad angle. Ooh.
Got a hold on this one, guys. So that's a big holding call. It slows their momentum.
Yeah, as we've said, Colorado State has a hard time getting 10 yards, and now they're going to have to get 20 before they're going to get another first down. So holding.
Clear hold on the tight end there.
Was that on Sorrell's?
Yeah, it was.
It was. Sorrell's having himself a hell of a drive right now. Yeah.
Yeah, had a tackle for loss and now forces a penalty, which ends up, forcing 10 more yards. Yeah, clear hold.
The coaches say he's the leader in that edge room. We talk about all the talent in that edge room, and the coaches say he's clearly the leader. He's the guy. He's the dude.
By the way, defensive line substitutions here for those watching. So the second team DL rolls in right now during a drive, Rod, which I like this, that we're not going drive to drive. Different rotations we're seeing early this year. That is Justice Finkley, right in, Lole, Bill Norton, and Ethan Burke. Are there 4 D linemen in?
I got to think offensive linemen hate that. Like they're just maybe getting control of it, or thinking about how they're dealing with one guy, and all of a sudden there's a whole new guy across from them right in the middle of a drive. That's got to be that's the depth that Texas has, but that's got to be a challenge for an offensive lineman.
Yeah, you never really get a true read on that, right?
I was just trying to figure that guy out a little bit. I got this new dude.
Man, Colorado State. Oh, it's a nice run.
Yeah, I will say Michigan's going to like what they see Colorado State having success with in the run game.
Yeah, it's because they having success on the interior runs.
Yes,
because that's where their veteran experience is on the offensive line. We brought that up earlier this week. Like if they're going to run inside. And if you're Michigan, that's your bread and butter. Inside power run game.
100%. And that's going to, that's all they're going to try to do next week is run the ball.
NASCAR package, Rod. NASCAR package.
Oh, that's sexy. Did they put Sorrell inside?
Yes, they did.
Oh, that's
Simmons and Trey on the edges.
I like that. That was good. That was nice.
All right, he's not going to make it. Third, it's going to be 4th and short. I mean, if you're Colorado State, you might as well go for it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Surprised they didn't. I got to look at the coverage. Surprised they didn't bump and run Torrey Horton there. Take him away. They're a little soft on Horton on that time.
For Katie, I'm the best. Texas has not gotten a sack yet.
No, they have not. A lot of quick passes.
Balls come out quick. Yeah, it's the nature of the scheme. I mean, his average time to throw 2.6 seconds. He throws most of the time 0 to 9 yards. That's a short area, and then his time to throw is 2.3 seconds. So you're not gonna get there in 2.3 seconds.
You're not gonna get there.
No, but no human is. I mean, Von Miller maybe, but it's rare. It's
Yeah.
prime, not Von Miller today. It prime Von Miller. That kind of.
Yeah, Micah Parsons maybe if he's
Yeah, there you go.
shot out of a
There
pen.
you go. Mike,
Yeah.
you got a shot at it. You're right.
All right, we'll come back from break with a big fourth down play. Biggest. Go ahead.
I love that NASCAR package though. It tells you they've been tweaking it. And then we talked about who are they going to bump inside. You got to bump. You need a true D tackle in there. I would prefer Alfred Collins, but you can do Vernon Bright. Doesn't matter. But you got to bump one of your edges inside. And they got 3 big bodies that could do it. They could do it with Burke. They could do it with Sorrell. They just did it. Or they can do it with Dawson. They can do it. They got 3 big body DNs. Big body DNs. Maybe that's a thing. They got 2 big body DNs they can do it with. Guys who are long, rangy, got these big frames that on passing downs, you're giving them an easier job. Go beat a less athletic interior O lineman. You know what I mean? That's an easier way to for those guys to be able to penetrate into the backfield and make a play. So I love the NASCAR package, man. I love it. Love it. You got to earn the right to use it because you got to stop the run.
That's it.
Because
look, we're now at this point. We're obviously talking about this game, having fun with this game, but I really believe next week, Texas at Michigan, as we start to get into this, first down run defense is critical for Texas in that game. Critical first down run defense is going to be very telling for the Texas defense in Ann Arbor.
Yep, because a second and long for them with is it Orgies that be their quarterback or something, and that is hugely advantageous to Texas. Third and long, of course, is advantageous to the defense, but you get them in a second and long, I'm with you. That's ideal every time. 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8.
Yeah,
that's what you want. If they're 2nd and 5, then we got
that's what Michigan wants. 100%. All right, real quick, guys, let me tell you about our third quarter sponsor, and it's very appropriate right now. Spreadwise app, which is something you need to download to your phone. Developed by some tech guys that I know that said, there's a hole in the market. A lot of people love these elimination pool leagues in the NFL where you pick a new team every week. You can only use them one time, and big pools of money are available for you when you get into those. Well, Spreadwise is the first of its kind app on the market where you can give yourself an edge in that survivor elimination pool throughout the year. It's a Spreadwise app. Use the power of your mobile device to help you evaluate multiple picks in the future based on the spreads of upcoming games. You still need some luck to make the picks, but at the same time, you get to know the estimated odds of winning each team for several weeks. The app employs advanced algorithms for quickly calculate the optimal choices for the next several weeks' games based on the current spreads. If you're doing a spread league or if it's just win or loss, customers with a subscription automatically download the latest spreads and scores. You can configure how many games to your future. It was not in the market. Now it is because of the Spreadwise app. Mark any team you want. And if you want to go far in your elimination and survivor pool leagues in the NFL, which starts this week, pools, this is what you need to do. It's your secret weapon to winning your survivor league. And if you're in one of those big ones, you can make a lot of money doing that. But Spreadwise, they do it on a subscription basis. You can subscribe for the year, the full season, and or do a 30-day trial. You can also get a 60-day trial with Spreadwise. Try it out. NFL season starts this week. Your secret weapon for your football elimination pool is the Spreadwise app. Find it in your app store. Spreadwise. I promise you, it's going to be that the other guys in your pool won't have it. You will, because you're watching the On Texas Football channel and the in-game watch with us, and you're going to be at the advantage, which is what you're looking for. Spreadwise, bringing you the third quarter. 31 zip, guys. And did I see they end up punting?
Whoa, they've been so conservative. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't think they've been real. They haven't thrown the ball deep. I ain't seen no trick plays. I don't know. Just they're really conservative. And the game was close early on where they tried to catch Texas by surprise. Maybe they could have shell shocked them, but it seems like they just were, complacent, fine with just being in the game for a while.
Yeah, that was weird. That was, 4th and a foot from midfield essentially. That's gonna be a late hit right there, isn't it? Or it should be. Yeah. But either way, I thought they were going for it, and then they go to the break and thought against it. Kind of feel like Jay Norvell because they think they can be a contender in the Mountain West Conference, big picture, but at the same time, get out of Austin. You're already down 30 points, and we'll see. But yeah, they have been very conservative.
And Jaden blew down a little bit, may have a cramp or something, but may have fallen on the ball, lost his wind. But Aaron, that's a great point because here's the reality for Colorado State. They know they're not winning this football game at this point. So what do? You have a long season ahead. You're in year 3 there. You're trying to build this program. being conservative and taking your L at this point it doesn't mean you're not competitive, but it may mean you're smart.
Yeah. I mean, these early games are a preseason for them too. I mean, we saw teams come into DKR last year, like Wyoming and Rice, that ended up competing for, their conference championship and bowl games. That's where Jay Norvell is with this Colorado State team. Here's Isaiah Bond with the speed. He's got a caravan in front of him. There's another explosive play for Texas, and those are rushing yards, but those aren't the rushing yards Coach Shipley was talking about. But that counts as ground game.
No, but that's why being, like I said, we don't know where the ground game is going to end up, what the identity of the run game is going to be. We've had the injuries, and now we've had talks and discussions about the offensive line and how impactful they're going to be in the run game. But you can supplement the run game in different ways. That's one of the ways to do it. Using your wide receivers in the run game, the quick passing game, right? The screen game, those types of things.
They're showing Jaden Blue on the sidelines. I think he just got his wind knocked out of him. He fell on the ball in that lower rib cage area. I think he probably just lost his wind.
Well, you know what, Jerry? Then that's enough for you today, Jaden. Thank you very much. Thank you. Everybody give it up for Jaden Blue, everybody. Yay!
There he is. Yeah, 11 carries, 57 yards, 5.2 per carry, and we'll have let Quinn Ewers get you a Dr. Pepper. You'll be good to go.
Good. Let's see some of those youngsters out there. All right? Let's do that.
Colorado State injury maybe right here.
Well, I love the way nothing against Jaden Blue, but I love the way Trey Wisner runs the ball. Man, he's looking to get upfield. He's looking to create separation. He's I don't know what's the word we look for. He's kind of angular, and he's really moving forward while making cuts. I really like Trey Wisner.
He's a slasher with
physicality.
There it is. Slasher with physicality, and his frame is starting to build to where that physicality will show more probably next year. But you mentioned earlier, good jump cut, but he is a slasher with physicality. Look, we're getting to that point now. Jaden Blue, I think, is fine. But it's about, if Texas could punch this in for a touchdown here, I think we're going to start to see Jarrett Gibson, see some of these guys, get them some action.
I agree. I mean, I think we're at that point again.
Arch is warming up. UT boy's on it. Arch is warming up.
There you go. Exactly. I mean, at this point, Colorado State, as you guys have talked about, they have another mission that they're on as a program and a team. So they pose no threat. They've decided that hey guys, we're not a threat. We're not trying to win the game. They basically signal to you and so we went, hey, we're no threat. We're not trying to do anything crazy. We're not no trick plays. We're not throwing it deep. Hey, we're punting on fourth and short. So we're like, all right, you know what? Let's put they've told us they want this to be a glorified scrimmage. All right, we get it. Let's go. And so at this point, I think it's safe to take Jaden Blue out of the game and some of the other guys and make it's time for business decisions at this point. Because they've signaled to you that's what they're doing. They're like, hey man, we're making decisions for our future.
Well, I mean, we're talking about not showing anything to Michigan. I mean, Jay Norvell's team plays Colorado in 2 weeks, and that's a huge game in their state, right? I mean, we don't need to show anything. We're not going to show Dion what's going on at Colorado State. We got more than that, and we're not going to beat them regardless of what we pull out of our bag in this game.
Totally agree.
Johnny Lambo asked in the chat, his center backs are out for their had surgery, I believe, last Tuesday, out for the season, as is Christian Clark.
Yep. And the other thing about not showing guys, and we were talking about short yardage, Jerry, have you heard anything behind the scenes on, Juan Davis or Darian Gillette? Are they trying to develop that? They're not going to show it in this game for the obvious reasons we're just talking about, but are you hearing that they're looking for a player, or do you think they're just going to go with what they've got there?
Yeah, I think Darian Gillette wants to develop as a linebacker. You give him credit for answering the call, playing running back in that first scrimmage. Actually showed some things that Texas really liked, but I think his 1A is to develop as a linebacker for his long-term football potential in him and his family's eyes.
Okay. And any thought on Juan Davis, who was a Wildcat quarterback up in Fort Worth, and you're looking to replace that Red Cat package, Savion Red. Do you think there's something there?
Yeah,
rushing yards.
He's playing a lot.
I'm hearing from the people in the stands that Jarrett Gibson is in the game now. There's a pretty good running back there, Rod, on the sidelines of this game.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
But yeah, Aaron, I haven't heard anything. Look, they got Ryan Niblett the ball in a jet sweep type action today. Wow. So I could see Ryan Niblett getting mixed in as the season moves along. He's a guy that has played Wildcat quarterback and done some things. So I think Sark's finding a role for him on this team this season. He's been very high on what Ryan Nibble's done in fall camp.
Well, there you go. There's Terrell Davis, the Hall of Famer,
Wow.
2,000-yard rusher, and he's a Rambassador apparently. Look at Jay Norvell trying to go Dion. Remember he had Terrell Owens on the sidelines the other night. He goes get Terrell Davis. Come on now, we got celebrities too. That's cool. And there you go. There's is that Jared Gibson with his first carry?
It is.
Looks like it.
6 yards off tackle.
See, Sark, no, it's like, hey, Jaden Blue, what? Oh, no, it's time. Sorry, Jaden.
Yeah.
Hey, Jaden, you're done. Sorry, you're done. You're done. Yep.
You're done, son. Go sit down.
You're done, son. It's okay.
Hey, by the way, I got a prediction. Jared Gibson's going to rush for 100 yards in this game.
Oh, there you go.
Damn,
that's bold. We got 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. I like it.
He's got a damn near quarter of it already.
Yeah, there you go, right there. There it is.
That was a nice run.
Yeah, that was a real nice run. Right behind Kelvin Banks on a little delay action. Get to the outside and explosive run right there for Jarrett Gibson. He's an explosive player, Jerry. You can already see that.
He is a little bowling ball with very physical build. He's a little older, almost 20 years older, just turned 20, but he has got a phicality to him.
Look at him right there. Wow, that is some power right there. Jarrett Gibson, his first touchdown on his third carry of his career. There you go. 3 carries, 31 yards, and a tutty for Jarrett Gibson already in his young career.
I stopped watching the play because I thought it was over.
Well, he did that right as Gary. Hey, he did that as Jarrett Gibson. We were saying Jarrett Gibson's got some physicality to it. I'm like, yeah, he's pushing like 6 dudes into the end zone.
I thought the play was over. I was like, all right, it stopped him by a couple of yards short. I turned, you guys started talking, and then you're like, touchdown. I'm like, touchdown, what? So, yeah, that dude's got to keep the legs turning, and he's got an old face, too. So you're right, Jerry. His face is old. He's got one of old faces on running back. Fozzie Whitaker had that old face. Now, running back have an old face, man. He looks like he's mature beyond his years.
Somebody said in the chat, Cam Williams needs to get a little bit of that touchdown love. And, yes, he did pull him into the end zone.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Love that.
Cam Williams is a monster. That's the scary part about Cam Williams, Jerry. Not only is he a massive dude, he's mean. He likes to be mean on the football field. Yeah, there he is. He's pulling him in. That's awesome.
Hey, by the way, so I got to respond to this. This was funny. He made me laugh. Hey, Sports Talk, Jay said, Jerry with the wild take on Jarrett Gibson. You know why I say that? I just look at a Colorado State defense that's gassed. They're out of gas, man. Jarrett Gibson got 30 yards on 3 carries. If he carries it 10 times the rest of this game, that dude's going to get 100 yards. Colorado State's gassed. They don't have much left in the tank.
Yeah,
they've already faced 50 plays against Texas's offense, and now a touchdown. And by the way, the gamblers out there are at least happy at this point. It's over the number as far as that goes. If you took Texas as a favorite in this game officially, let's see if they can keep it there. If you are having a little wager on this game, is it time for Arch Manning next time Texas gets the ball? Do we feel like that happens?
Yes.
Yeah. It was honestly, it was time for him. That Jared Gibson and Arch should have been out there at the same time. Honestly, you could, like I said, they'd already told you we pose no threat. They essentially had waved the white flag to you, and when that punt, that was the white flag. They're like, dude, we don't want to play. This is a scrimmage for us. So it's time to put Arch out there. It was time at that last drive. So let's do it. It's about that.
Well, we've come a long way from losing to Maryland back-to-back years to start a season.
The jet sweep. Over. Run it again. Jet sweep.
Hey,
how you going to stop it? Can't stop it.
Hey, and you know what? I mean, Coach Shipley actually brought that up, and I'm sure the audience was like, no, don't talk about that. He's on the 2018 because we were talking about how you never know how season opener is going to go. And when it was 7-0. But yes, don't even mention that. Don't say Maryland. Don't say jet sweep. Don't say any of that stuff, especially on opening weekend, Labor Day weekend.
Wow.
These guys watching, all those people are ready to enjoy their Labor Day weekend. They're cruise control now, 38-0. They're ready to go shoot some doves tomorrow with dove season open and that whole thing. Awesome game today. Thank you guys for all you do in the Texas community. You guys were spot on with your analysis coming into this game. Hook 'em. Yeah, there you go. It's the place to be. That's why so many people are checking it out here all day, every day. And certainly for the watch-alongs, we'll be doing these watch-alongs every game, including next week against Michigan. The trip to Ann Arbor, one of the bigger games. First matchup between 2 of the more historic programs in the history of college football. First one since the 04 Rose Bowl, right? Early 05. That's first Lloyd Carr, Mac Brown, game-winning field goal. That's if you remember, that's where Vince Young, after they won the game, pronouncing to everyone that we'll be back. We'll be back because, the Rose Bowl the next year was the national championship site. And, of course, we know 1 year later that was the site of the greatest game in college football history, arguably, and one of the best performances ever by Vince Young. But a lot of stuff. It's going to be a great week, guys. Now that this game is in control, we're about to see Arch Manning for a quarter and a half. It's going to be a lot of fun hyping up and getting ready for a game against the Michigan Wolverines, the defending national champions.
Yeah, and I mean, the team looks great against Michigan on the road. You got to be even sharper, right? Offensively, defensively. Now, defensively, we'll see. You have a bigger test because this will be a different identity. This is an air raid offense that didn't pose much of a threat, as we talked about there. They didn't try to test you. I think Michigan. The best thing about Michigan is also the worst thing about Michigan. You know exactly what they're gonna do. You know exactly the brand of football you're about to see. It's bully ball. It's hardball ball. All right. What they call Jim? What do you say, E, about Jim Harbaugh? What do you say the great quote is? He's a fist with a mouth.
Yeah,
that's what that's their offense. It's a fist with a mouth. So just get ready. They'll try to pound you into submission over and over again. And they're really good at it, by the way. Now, they don't have Harbaugh. They're the original architect, but, they got some of the pieces that he handpicked. And you got to go on the road to fans. And that defense is I think it's a top 5 defense potentially in college football. We'll see, but that's what you got to face on the road, their house.
We're back in action. Kobe Black getting his first action as a Texas Longhorn there at cornerback, Rod Babers.
I like it.
By the way, Michigan plays Fresno State tonight at 6:30. Fresno State, really good football team last year, 9-4. If Michigan runs over them, it gets interesting.
I want to see if Fresno State can get some big plays in the passing game against Michigan. They're not going to beat Michigan, of course, but they can beat them a couple of times. Fresno State's always got speed. The city of Fresno, isn't Xavier Worthy from Fresno? I think Torrey Horton.
They came out the same year, high school.
That's speed out there. So we'll
California
see how they match up against speed.
Yeah, and Fresno's that's one of those hard-nosed areas of California, not like the San Diegos and LAs. These guys are tough-nosed. There's a first down with Texas with a lot of backups on the field now. Jerry, do the roster check. I mean, run through some of the names we're seeing out there.
Yeah, so I think we have Manny Muhammad still in at corner. I think Derek Williams out there at safety. Gilbo's still in the game. Leon Gulafau at middle backer. Mo Blackwell in the game there. So second team defensive front in the game. I think you're seeing Aaron Bryant for the first time. Justice Finkley's out there. Ethan Burke. I'm not sure who the other defensive lineman is. I'll have to look at that in a second. But so we've got a little mix in the secondary of first team guys, but Kobe Black getting his first action at corner. Makuba. So Tommy's asking in the chat, Makuba's 4.
Yeah, Makuba's 4. Jerry, for folks, Kobe Black, Rod, I know you've watched film on him, but big physical corner out of the Waco area, 5-star kid coming out. What do you remember of his high school tape?
He's a guy. I mean, I think he has a chance to be kind of a bump and run connoisseur. He's a big, long, rangy corner, really athletic. They want to play more press coverage. Actually, they're playing more press coverage. I'll go back and document it here, but going back even to the end of last year from that Tech game on, the rate of press coverage has increased, or at least it's on top of my mind, it's increased. Even watching here, the eye test it has. That's what they want. They want corners to be able to do that more and more. And Kobe Black really fits that mold of a guy that projects to be a really high-level bump and run press corner.
Big 3rd and 2 here. If they can get off the field, you get Arch Manning, get Ryan Wingo, get some of those guys in the game. Good pressure from the outside, steps up into the throw. PBU, Manny Muhammad, punt time.
Yeah, that's big time. Colorado State still with only 7 first downs in this game. It's pretty amazing, Rod. To your point about and I want you to give me your thoughts on what Manny does here.
Nice. That's
great timing.
It really is. I mean, he's playing off, but the thing about where he's playing off, watch where his feet are settled. He's not giving up too much space. He's not giving him too much cushion. He was pretty much sitting at the sticks because the chances are they're going for it here, I think. Are they going for it?
See if they go or try to draw Texas offsides. Maybe this is when you do go for it, but see if they try to draw them off too. Let's see.
And why not go for it the other time too? What is 4th and 1 too? Like, what are we doing here?
Come on, man. Punt the ball. We want to see Arch.
That was
Who left the arch?
I don't understand that. This is weird. I don't know why. Yeah, it's crazy.
Incomplete.
You got the press. I love the press. I love the
Jerry's got that super TV coverage over there at the Marriott Bondwood.
I need to hush. I'm not saying anything. Arch Manning touchdown. I'm not saying
anything. Good defense. But think about it. Everybody playing press across the board, right? Across the board. When's the last time you saw Texas playing across the board? Everybody playing press. I think they're just getting more aggressive with the guys, and it paid off. I mean,
well, and I think as you've said over and over again, Rod, they have better press players too, right? They have guys that can do it, and you're not worried about them.
Yeah.
Here we go, guys.
And I think, what you're also looking at here, I think Texas, the football IQ is starting to increase too in the back end. Guys, I think understanding of passing concepts and route concepts.
Here comes Arch Manning. It's we're going to say the Arch Manning debut in 2024 brought to you by Spreadwise, your secret weapon for your football elimination pool. Make sure you check that out before the season starts. If you're in one of those suicide/elimination NFL leagues, check that out. That can be your secret weapon that your buddies aren't going to have, and you are. And here's Arch Manning.
Great fake on that too.
And a good throw.
Look at that. The fake. It almost faked out the cameraman. Look at that.
How about the ball move? I mean, the ball work right there. That's nice. Jonte Cook.
Sleight of hand right there. Yep. Ball on the money. Him and Jonte got a nice little rapport. I like it.
How about the throw too, on the run, showing athleticism?
Neto in at right guard, I believe. Neto in the game, getting a good quarter plus of action here for Neto. Let me see if the first team offensive tackles are still, and I assume they are. Neto at left guard. Sorry. Hayden Connor's actually getting some run at center here. Cole Hudson at right guard. Trevor Gooseby left tackle. And that would mean that the right tackle is still Cam Williams because he needs some time on the field.
Yeah, reps. He needs reps. All right, here we go. Jarrett Gibson already has one touchdown here in this second half. But does get another one? Or is it – ball on the ground. Heads up play by Manning right there. That ball.
Nice play by Manning, yeah. Great awareness.
Did he snap it into his butt? I don't know what happened right there. Oh, he snapped it into Juan Davis is what he did.
Yep, all the pre-snap. You got to be.
Oh, wait till you see this.
Oh, no.
There we go. Hype train is building. Plenty of time.
Wow.
Oh, touchdown.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow.
Improvisation for Arch Manning's first touchdown.
Get out of it. Of course, Cyrus Bolden was the one to get it, too. Of course, it's Bolden. That's fantastic. I love it. Man.
I think Arch is telling Sark right now, just keep calling whatever you want. I got this, dude.
Yeah. Let me improvise. Let me jump on a fumble. Let me make a throw on the run. And then do a little Patrick Mahomes flip pitch to Silas Bolden.
Like this, and that is, listen, that's that great story that Mac Brown always tells about him and on the field with DKR, and he was on the field with DKR, and it was Willie Nelson, I believe it was George Strait on the field with him. And they were on the field at DKR, and a coach, they was at a coaching clinic. The coach walks up to him. Coach says, Coach, I want to be like you. He's talking to Coach Royal. He says, hey, man, how can I be like you? And Coach Royal says, well, you got to have it. And then he says, if you have it, he said, if you know it, you know what I mean, and you have that it quality, he said, then you'll make it. And the coach kind of looked around, bewildered, and then he walked away, didn't say anything. And then Coach Royal said, well, hell, he ain't got it.
He ain't got it.
I guess the point of the story is that you know it when you see it, and it's obvious when you see it. Yep. And if you know it, if you got it, then you know it. And I think he's got it. That kid Arch Manning's got it, man.
I do too.
Whatever.
Hey, by the way, I know who doesn't have it, but is getting it. Miami 31, Florida 10.
They getting it.
They're getting it. Billy Napier's getting it right now.
If you had no in the will Billy Napier be the head coach at Florida when they come to Austin in November in your pick'em pool, no is the answer. He probably won't. You can't win at home, or you can be competitive at home against your rival with the schedule they have with a veteran quarterback like Graham Mertz. That is a big problem. 31-0 or 31-10, getting skunked by the U.
Yeah,
Mario Cristobal. And I think Mario's in, Napier's been there a year longer than Mario's been at Miami too, right? So that's a challenge for Florida. All right, that is Arch Manning's first collegiate touchdown pass. And he's a high-level basketball player, Jerry, in high school, right? That was like a fast break play that he would play as a point guard right there, pitching it out to Silas Bolden.
Pretty sure he played on the team that either lost in a state title or won the state title. I can't remember what. But he was a really good role player on that team. And you can see, Rod, athletic instincts, right? That was an athletic instincts football play by Arch Manning.
Totally agree. Yep. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like it some of the things that he's displaying, you're not coaching that. That's all natural, man.
That's awesome.
It's in the genes.
And we got a bunch of second-team guys here on defense. Obviously, Leon Galafau, middle backer. You're seeing Sadir Mitchell into the game at 1D tackle, so nose guard spot. Justice Finkley in the game. Alex January in the game. Colton Vosick in the game. I see Gavin Holmes out there. I haven't seen the safeties yet, but a lot of second-team, third-team guys getting in the rotation here. Warren Roberson, I think I see him out there. Jordan Johnson-Rebel, Derek Williams.
Look at that super chat. Thank you, Jarrett, checking in from Heltonville, Indiana. Much cleaner game than the opener a year ago. Go Horns. Yeah, very clean. Well, the first quarter was a little sputtery with only 7 points on the board, but they've erupted for 24 in the second, 14 more in the third, and put this thing on ice. And now Arch Manning in the game. The defense still playing. Ooh, that's going to be – what do we think the flag is there?
Hold. It looked like a hold on the interior OL.
That was almost as nasty as when Colt McCoy trucked 2 Rice Owls at the same time. There you go. Arch Manning with the touchdown. I was thinking about it. We were talking about this week, guys. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of hype for the game next week, obviously, but think about next year. On this month, they're actually 1 year yesterday, Texas will open the season at Ohio State on August the 30th. Probably with Arch Manning as their starting quarterback. The hype of that is going to be something else, man. A lot of time between now and that, but the offseason hype, Texas does not play an opener like Colorado State next year. They play Ohio State in Columbus the Labor Day weekend. That's going to be about ESPN and whoever has that game with likely Arch Manning as your starting quarterback. That's going to be a lot of month-long hype for that bad boy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Sadir Mitchell, man, I'll tell you this. Sadir Mitchell, he may not be physically where we want him to be as a fan base right now, but Sadir Mitchell is hard to move, man. If he can ever maximize his talent, he is a very difficult guy to move off the ball.
100%. I mean,
and maybe that's the role he plays, right? Maybe you're moneyballing this thing, and in certain situations, especially in the SEC, you just need an anchor. You need a guy that won't be moved, a guy that can be stout at the point of attack and take on a double team without losing ground. And maybe that's his role. Maybe he's just not the guy that becomes an every down player, every situation player for you.
All right, it's punt time for Colorado State coming up, I think, here, guys.
Yes.
All right, there it is. 3rd and 15 now. This will probably be the last play of the third quarter. By the way, guys, if you want to talk about waving the white flag and Jay Norvell here in our third quarter, it's 45-0. Texas has outgained the Rams 438 to 145. Time of possession, though, Colorado State leads it with 23 minutes of time of possession. They're trying to milk this thing every time they get the ball and drain the clock to shorten this game on a hot day in Austin. But they're not doing much with it. Still only 7 first downs. As we wrap up the third quarter, let me talk about one more time about spread-wise. This is your secret weapon for your elimination league. The NFL starts this week, y'all. Thursday night with the game in Kansas City. If you're in one of the suicide/elimination pools where you pick one winner a week, but you can only use that team one time during the course of the season, make sure you're giving yourself the edge you need. Don't just do it off the top of your head or, crunch the numbers. You go to Spreadwise app. It's the only app like itself on the market. Certainly is the best. Customer subscriptions, once you do that, automatically download the latest spreads and scores, and it configures with an algorithm your best pick each week. And then you can choose from and quickly calculate the optimal choices for the next week's game as you go. You still have to make that choice and make the call, but at the same time, you have the up-to-date and best information that's there for you with an algorithm, adjust and customize any game, any spread of your choice. Mark any team you want to avoid in any week to ensure that the team is not suggested. You can do that. Manage multiple pool entries at one time and ensure that those have unique picks as well. It supports a variety of pool options, most elimination and survivor pool rules, so you can make it, line up with whatever your rules are going to be. Pools that require more than one pick in a given week as well. Also, if you're doing a losers pool, which a lot of people do, that will flip it around and do the most likely loser for the week. It is tremendous. The SpreadWise app, there was a hole in the market. There was nothing like it, and now there is. And you can be one of the few people in your league that has that bad boy going. Put it to your advantage starting this week in the National Football League. All right, guys, third quarter in the books, 45-zip. And dominant performance. And as I think you said it, Rod, they did go for it on the fourth down a little bit ago, but at the same time, Colorado State, just like Texas, trying to get out of here as healthy as possible, move on with the rest of their season, and get ready for the games on the schedule that they can actually be competitive in, while Texas is trying to get ready for a Michigan game.
Yeah, I think at this point, Texas is on a different mission than they're on. And for Colorado State, I was a little surprised that early on he didn't try to – there wasn't some effort for them to try to at least gain some confidence by making some plays against Texas when you have a chance. They came in a really conservative game plan. At this point, you got to be trying to avoid the goose egg, though, if you're Colorado State. I mean, it's one thing to play conservative and one thing to be, like I said, trying to win your conference, and you're at a different level than Texas, but nobody wants to be shut out. Like that's no. Football. I don't care what you're talking about, high school, college, pro, middle school. Nobody wants to be shut out, man. And Sark ain't trying to shut you out. Like he's putting in backups, as Jerry just pointed out. You got the backup quarterback in there, so he's not trying to pile on by any stretch. So if you're Jay Norvell, that's a whole other mission I think you're on now. You're like, hey man, I'm trying to put at least some points on the board. Can you put together one sustained drive? Now you're dealing with second and third string guys from Texas. Can you do it against those guys? And has he taken out his starters? I haven't looked at that. Has Colorado State taken out their starters?
I've not seen that yet.
No.
But Jerry and Rod, I mean, what Rod's saying is exactly what Sark said this week. You're putting points of emphasis where, play a clean game. They didn't early, but really have cleaned that up here in the second and third quarter. But no drop off from ones to twos, right? They want to be 44 deep as a football team. And when the backups come in, no drop off at all. That 7 first downs, that only 145 total yards would tell you that, hey, that there hasn't been a drop off on either side when the twos come in.
No, absolutely. And this is the depth building for Texas. Oh, by the way, Miami scored again, 38-10. Napier might get fired on the walking out off the field today. They may let him coach the A&M game. Punt coming for Colorado State. But, yeah, I think, look, this is 3 years of top 5 level recruiting classes in a row and being a blue blood in the portal. I mean, and player development. As long as Texas continues to recruit at the level they are, which they have the 6th ranked class now after Jamie French's commitment Friday, who's going to be a stud at Texas. They're right on track again. And look, when Tyreek Hill apparently is at this game and says the atmosphere is unbelievable. So we got that going for us. Tyreek Hill's pumping up the atmosphere at DKR today. But you're seeing the signs of 3 straight top 5 recruiting classes and being a blue blood in the portal.
Yep, which you got to be this time of year. We talked earlier with Coach about Clemson not using the portal. I still can't figure this out with Dabo Swinney, as our fourth quarter is going to be brought to you by our good friends at Grande Equipment sales and equipment rentals, independent.
Oh, guys, sorry.
Go ahead, Jerry's ahead of us, but
you go. You're reading a read.
No, that's good. That's good. No, that's big time right there. The throw, RPO with a rifle rod
to Ryan Wingo.
Yeah,
Brandon Baker in at right tackle, the freshman.
That's a big time throw right there. That is a lot of mustard on that one.
Sorry, sorry, Grande.
No, man, that's perfect. They're doing the same thing. Wes and his team are like, man, no, show me Arch Manning. Quit talking. I want to see Arch Manning throw that ball like John Elway. For crying out loud.
Yes,
that's amazing. Yeah, he's got that A quality, man. Whatever it is, he's got it.
Yeah, and there's Jared Gibson almost halfway to your 100-yard projection now, Jerry.
Yeah, he's got 51 yards now.
And this is the kind of reps, Rod, you want to get Jared Gibson in this game, because you may very likely need him next week to pick up some tough yards against a very good Michigan team. This is good prep for him and reps for him for what may be necessary next week.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And it's one of those things where you just need to get him reps so that he gets used to some of the main fundamentals of running back, right? At the higher levels, ball security, taking on contact, pad level, things of that nature. And, once he's proven already that he can do that at a high level, then maybe you start he earns the trust of the coaches. You can put him in there in some more crucial, critical situations. I don't think that'll be necessarily against Michigan, but I'm just saying later on down the line in the season, if he continues to do that consistently.
The walk-on Colin Page in the game. People have asked in the chat. There's Jonte Cook, a little swing pass, guys. But people in the chat have asked about Jaden Blue. We think he's okay. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. As Rod said, shut it down. Save it for Ann Arbor.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Not worth it.
Yeah, and we'll get a chance to see the walk-on. The kid from, if you're watching in the 5-1-2, as we've talked about a lot, the 5-1-2 crew on this Texas team with all the Austin kids, so many on defense, 3 from Westlake, Alfred Collins, Andrew McCuba, Jade Barron, and now Colin Page from Anderson High, a Trojan in his day, and one of the better short yard players on this team. He's really opened some eyes in the camp. Number 23, watch for him for sure.
By the way, Brandon Baker's going to be a stud. He looks really good.
Yeah, of course, Mater Dei, right? High school?
Mater Dei, playing right tackle, one of the top offensive tackles in the country. Big national recruiting win over Ohio State. Kyle Flood did a great job there. Here we go as a 3rd and 1.
Arch Manning's already led 1 touchdown drive, his first touchdown pass of his career, and there goes Jarrett Gibson off the right side. Yeah, they're running right behind Brandon Baker, aren't they?
Yeah. Look, Jarrett Gibson, he is built for SEC football. He is 5'9", 210, compact, hides behind large humans, patient. Then he has enough burst and acceleration, but he creates power on contact, Rod, and falls forward.
Love those guys that fall forward, man. It's one of the favorite characteristics of a running back. The late Sed B was one of the best at that. Fall forward. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen him fall backwards.
Yes.
Guys had that lean, man. Got that running back lean, that natural lean for a running back.
That is Arch Manning right there. Thought he had something, pulled it down, protected the ball, got down, and now you got second and goal. But red zone's been better, Rod, so far. I mean, this is Colorado State, but the red zone has looked better.
Yep. Yeah, you had some early struggles in the red zone, penalty in the red zone. I think that was Jake Majors. Then you had the interception in the red zone by Qunn early on. But I agree. After that, they cleaned it up, and they look really good since then in the red zone.
Yeah, running game's been better in the second half. And Jarrett Gibson, I think, is a guy people are going to be talking about this week because you said it, Jerry. Jaden Blue's fine. I mean, Trey Wisner looked great as a slasher, but this is, if it's going to be a running back by committee, I think this guy can be a big part of it without a doubt, even as a freshman coming out of IMG. But you mentioned earlier, playing IMG is kind of like playing small college football, and he's almost 20 years old already.
Yeah, I mean, look, so the one thing about Jarrett Gibson going down the IMG for years as Texas has a 4th and goal coming up, there's so much talent on the front 7 defensively that every time you take a handoff in high school, you have somebody in your peripheral vision. That helps prepare you for major college football. There's a crank for Colorado State. Those guys, even though IMG has really good offensive linemen and players, those guys in the practice setting, those defensive players play on your side of the line of scrimmage. So as a running back, every time you take a handoff in practice, you have things blowing through your peripheral vision. That helps prepare you for major college football. I think running backs at IMG, because of, look, it's almost like a small college, but because of what they go up against in practice, really helps prepare them for college football. John Allen, very good at Penn State, probably the best running back to come out of IMG.
Wow, that's saying a lot right there. And Jarek, while we're talking recruiting right there, Jerry, I mean, the state of Florida, I mean, to go in and get CJ Baxter and Jarrett Gibson, now it's Jamie French. Yes. I mean, this staff, led by Tashard Choice immediately, and then now it looks like Chris Jackson. Of course, yeah. I don't know if there's a tie for him being the receivers coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars and Jamie French from Jacksonville, Mandarin High School there, but they're not afraid to get into the mix in Florida.
Now, Jacksonville, this is the first national win in the history of the Texas program in Jacksonville that I remember. This is a big recruitment for Texas. They've had a little bit of success here and there over the years, but not a lot. They didn't really recruit Florida. But Tashard Choice, his ties were in the Orlando area, the I-4 corridor, in the Tampa and Southwest Florida. Obviously, you have Diabell out of Broward County. That's a little different because that's a quarterback. Michael Kern, the punter. But Texas, that's a different sandbox to play in down in Dade and Broward County. I love that Texas went into Jacksonville and won out. Jamie French is a $1 million smile. He's got an unbelievable personality. He is a popular kid in Jacksonville. That was a national – this is a guy that was committed to Nick Saban at Bama. He backed out of that when Saban retired. He could have gone to Georgia, Florida State, Ohio State. LSU obviously had family in Baton Rouge. Miami, everybody recruited him about in the country, and that Texas went into Jacksonville, the Mandarin High, and got him. That's a new territory for Texas they've had success in. Really bodes well for the future in the SEC. I'm telling you, I love South Georgia, Jacksonville to Orlando for Texas in recruiting, and down that I-4 corridor. I-4 corridor gets tougher if Florida's good. Right now, Florida's terrible. So that's open hunting season as well. But I really love South Georgia, Jacksonville, Orlando for Texas. I think they need to offer more guys out of those areas. There's some really good talent there.
And now Texas into the SEC officially this year, which, you know, those guys, they wouldn't have considered Texas, I don't think, if they're still in the Big 12.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Great call.
Now here they are. And Arch Manning, if you're a receiver, Rod, you can watch this kid. You know Quinn Ewers is one more year and go. And, I get to go catch passes from that dude with Sark calling plays. My profile is going to be elevated because all eyes will be on Quinn Ewers or on Arch Manning moving forward.
Yeah, and you guys were talking about Clemson earlier, right? And I think, Jerry, we talked about this too. The big drop off of Clemson actually is less in the lines of scrimmage and more the skill positions because they don't entertain the transfer portal. The transfer portal is full of great skill position guys. You can get really good receivers, as Texas knows, really good corners. Hard to get good linemen. That's rare in the transfer portal. But see, I think ultimately for Texas, they've proven there are so many routes as a wide receiver because it's a very wide receiver friendly offense that you can go to Texas and you can accomplish your dreams as a wide receiver to go to the NFL. A.D. Mitchell's going to do it. Isaiah Bond's going to do it, as we saw in this game. Matthew Golden is going to be one of them guys too. And then you got your route of guys going to the NFL via the more traditional route, Xavier Worthy and their traditional recruitment. There you go. A non-rushing touchdown added to the mix for
Archibald Manning, as the sign said. Archibald is in the end zone. He threw one little pitch pass to Silas Bolden, and now a 1-yard touchdown on a 4th down quarterback sneak, jumping in behind the inside of his offensive line. So Arch having himself a good run here and making the fans happy and making the gamblers happy. This thing is well in control of the number here at 52. Texas, dominating this game over Colorado State. Still 10-10 to go, but almost 500 total yards now. And again, I'll say it again, Rod. But Jerry mentioned it and alluded and responded to it. But your thoughts on no drop off from 1s to 2s? That's when you really when a program goes from good to great for me is when they're able to go to some backups and there's no drop off. The performance stays the same. You don't even notice it, and that's what Sark has talked about, being 44 deep to compete in the SEC. We're seeing that right here. There's no drop off from 1s to 2s.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And it seems Sark said it was his deepest team. This is the depth you're talking about, right? And then the young guys who are develop that consistency. Because for young guys, their trajectory of development usually is, they show you flashes, so you get the highs and lows, right? You get the peaks and the valleys. But as a player, what you want is a consistent baseline of performance. And that's what you want to start to see from the younger guys. And that's why when, you get, some of the backups in there and Arch Manning and some of the young guys in there, and you can still, like you said, maintain that high level of performance is showing you that they are developing that baseline of consistency. That's how they inevitably get the trust of the coaches, right? Because the coach is not going to trust you unless he can consistently see you go out there and execute whatever the coverage is or execute whatever the play is and do it every day. That's what practice is all about. Football, you practice when you play. Once you do that, earn the trust of the coaches, that's when you see the field. And you're starting to see that. And now you got more guys, and Sark talked about this, that are forcing their way on the field because they're earning the trust of the coaches. Your Ryan Niblets of the world, and some of the guys, Juan Davises of the world, and some of the guys who you thought would be, just backups, but now they've been able to break their way into the starting lineup. But we'll see that wide receiver too. Ryan Wingo will be one of those guys. That's ultimately what you want to see from coaches, where guys they're earning reps on the field, forcing you to have to play them because they're being so consistent.
Yeah, and we talked about with Coach Shipley and Jerry. That's what makes Georgia so damn good. Their weakness is they have no weakness, right? They're they're so deep and they just are so well coached, and you got to beat them. And to pick up that Clemson point, I mean, I know it'll be a conversation piece on the radio shows and stuff the rest of the week, but because we talked about Clemson and the referendum on Dabo Swinney. I mean, to not be competitive in that game where you were a dominant force just a couple of years ago. It's one thing to lose to Georgia, but to not even be able to move the football is hugely disappointing. And he's almost, as you said, Jerry, getting himself fired here. I mean, it's coaching malfeasance to not use all resources available to you to add players to your team, because Dabo will say, Rod, that well, we're developing our players. He said the arrogance of him at ACC Media Days to say that there weren't players in the portal good enough to play at Clemson. Like, what? Crazy. I mean, and then to go out and get shellacked by Georgia like that is really problematic. But it's stubborn. I mean, you can say we're developing our players. Well, guess what? Georgia's developing their players, but they're also using the portal.
But Aaron, you know who scored touchdowns against Clemson today? London Humphreys and Colby Young, wide receivers out of the portal. They're better than your receivers at Clemson right now. Last year, FSU had 9 of their 10 guys drafted were out of the portal. They won the ACC. You did not. The guy sacking your quarterback, Jared Verse, was from the portal. Yeah. What are you even arguing at this point? It makes no sense.
Makes no sense. I agree. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Hey, by the way, hey, Dabo, Vanderbilt beat Virginia Tech today with a QB out of the portal from New Mexico State who instantly has changed that team.
Yeah.
Just an FYI, Dabo, if you're watching this live stream, which you probably are because you have nothing else, you don't take calls on your call-in show. It just makes
It's such a parallel to Mac Brown to me when Mac started to lose and get behind Nick Saban and the powers that were changing and landscape was changing. And Mac, I don't think evolved with it, but same kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it would almost be like Jerry and Rod saying, you know what? I don't like I'm not going to recruit Florida anymore. I don't like Florida. I don't like kids from Florida. I'm not going to Florida. No, we're going to recruit other states. I'm not going to Florida. That would make as much sense as what he's saying about the current situation.
I'll give you one stat. It's a mind-blowing one. There are 43 transfer starting quarterbacks right now, starting in the 68 Power 5 programs.
Yeah. You know who would like him to use the portal more is Cade Klubnik. Hey, Cade, can you get me some weapons? I mean, I need some help over here.
It's crazy.
It is. That is nuts. That's been some of the highlights. Were you impressed by Penn State going into West Virginia and laying one on Neil Brown today?
Pat McAfee sure was.
Yeah.
Throw down a million and get your butt kicked.
How'd that new offense look? Because Colton Nicky's calling the plays up there now. Remember that? Oh,
yeah, Kansas. Yeah.
So it's a new
I had my eye on it, but really their defense just throttled Garrett Green and the West Virginia team. That place was hyped up. That was pretty impressive. That's what James Franklin does, though. They bully the teams they're supposed to bully. They get bullied by the better teams. We'll see if James Franklin can change that. But Colt Nickey, that was an outside-the-box hire for him to go get someone from that Lance Leipold tree who can just bring some creativity to that offense. Defense hadn't been the problem. They had one of the top defenses a year ago with Manny Diaz. Penn State, pretty impressive on the road, covering a number that I think a lot of people thought was maybe too high. It's 8.5.
Yeah, they can't. James Franklin can't win a big game, right? He can't win the big game. The big games for him are when Ohio State, when he plays Ohio State, Michigan in that conference, and when outside the conference they play big non-conference games. West Virginia is not a big game for them. West Virginia is a decent team, but that's not a big game.
Yeah. They were a 9-win team a year ago, and that's a rivalry game. So I mean, the border that West Virginia really wanted to perform well in, but that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
This says I have a huge man crush on Bevo. LOL. There you go. Huge man crush on Bevo. Hey Jerry, on the recruiting front, what's to come? I mean, now Jamie, the trio of big commitments. Obviously, Nick Brooks. Jonah Williams, 5-star, Jamie French, 5-star. It's like a grand finale. About 19 commitments now. What's next? How many more, and what are the targets?
Well, I'll tell you this. Caleb Chester just sent me a photo from him in the stands, the corner commit, who Rod we think is going to be a really damn good player at Texas corner. Isaiah Williams, the 2026 safety's with him. I'm going to see if Matthew can get this photo up. If not, I'll put it on social media. Smith Orogbo, Lance Jackson at the game today. You know how much Lance Jackson loves Texas, guys? Played last night, Texarkana at Austin. Not an easy trip. He's here for the game. Yeah, he didn't have to be here for this game. Lance Jackson, Smith Orogbo. You want to talk about two tremendous edges committed to Texas? 1.66, going to be 280 and looking like Julius Peppers physically out there. And I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Fame player. Then Smith Orogbo has tons of upside. as a pass rusher. Those two edges at the game. Isaiah Williams, one of the top 20, 26 safeties in the country, in my opinion, at Marshall. But next up for Texas will be Michael Terry. When is his timeline? It's looking like late September. I think Texas is in a good spot there. There it is. Thank you, producer Matt. That's Caleb Chester on the left, Isaiah Williams on the right at Fort Bend Marshall. Isaiah Williams, a stud 2026. Caleb Chester, Rod. Has anybody impressed you more at player interviews that's committed to Texas than Caleb Chester?
I don't think so. I mean, I asked this young man to just break down. I asked him basically to break down a play, and he's like, he asked me if I wanted him to break down the entire highlight reel. He's like, I'll break down the whole highlight reel for you, man. No, his football IQ is through the roof. When you just ask him a few questions, he'll expand on certain points for you because he's really excited about talking ball, period. So he's a student of the game. And that's what I noticed when I talked to him. And he's like I said, once again, getting back to kind of a theme for me, he's a press coverage specialist, can play press man. I think that's one of the things they really like about the DBs, the corners they're bringing in specifically.
Yeah, he had that highlight reel interception in his first game on Thursday night, I think it was. He's a heck of a ball player. And at the game today, it's hot out there. That's good for those guys. Making that happen. Longhorns up 52-0, 9 minutes to go, and just throwing a wet blanket on anything Colorado State has tried to do. And Rod, I mean, the offense obviously has gotten into gear after a 7-point first quarter, but since you've jumped on right at halftime, the defense has a chance at a shutout now. That's probably being talked about on the sidelines. I think they've allowed 2 first downs this second half, so they've really buckled it down even more. And now they're on to their backup quarterback at Colorado State. So now an opening week shutout is potentially right in front of you. Got to think that's the motivator right now.
Yeah, definitely talking about it. Defensive guys take a lot of pride in the shutout, man. I don't care what level of football you're talking about and who your opponent is. Shutouts are really, really tough to get in football. So, and by the way, your opponent, you don't want to get shut out. So for Colorado State, there's a whole nother sense of urgency there that they don't want to get shut out. So we got to put some points on the board. It's a sense of pride. For Texas, it'll be really impressive for this defense. That's where a lot of the questions have been, right? About, the interior D-line, replacing Sweat and Murphy in the defensive backfield and the pass defense. I think it'd be really a huge boost of confidence for this group to start out the 2024 campaign with a shutout. That, hey, man, that's a statement for a defense to have that. Because you're right, that doesn't happen unless, the entire defense contributes to that. Well, the team too, pretty much. That's a team statement.
Yeah, 100%. They just converted a first down. This their 8th of the day. They're 3 for 11 on third down before that, or 2 for 10 before that one. For the Longhorns, and another round of down the depth chart guys getting some time now, Jerry.
Yeah, for sure. I was getting that tweet out of Caleb Chester and Isaiah Williams, but looking at, I think we see a lot. Colton Vosick again in the game, getting his first true action for Texas extended period of time. I don't know who the edge is up top. Sadir Mitchell looks like he's in there. Jere Bledsoe's been in and out of there. There you see. Xavier Filsame's in there. Brady Sarkisian with the tackle there, guys. Brady Sarkisian.
I think that's back-to-back tackles right there. 51 shooting the gap on the run play, and then in space, Sark's linebacker's son running out there making some plays. That's pretty good stuff right there.
Not good day. You make a couple of tackles. Dad makes $10 million a year, and he buys your steak. That's a good salary.
There you go. 100%.
Ain't life grand.
Yeah, life's pretty good. And he went to high school in Newport Beach. I mean, come on. Yeah,
that's pretty damn good. I've been there one time.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like paradise. It really
Good spot. Yeah. Ain't life grand, and we appreciate our fourth quarter sponsor, Grande Equipment. We'll tell you about them coming up. They have a new app, Grande Equipment. So if you need heavy equipment for any project, make sure you're using Grande. My buddy Wes and his team there. All right, so defense standing up, another third down stop, and old Brousseau is ready to get to the sidelines. They're going to punt here, and the Longhorns will get the ball back. Arch Manning once again. Do we get to Trey Owens at some point here, or what do you just let Arch roll it out there? You need some reps for your backup quarterback.
I think you let Arch take some reps here because look, again, we talked about it. Qunn hasn't had 2 healthy seasons in a row. We hope he does this year, but I think these reps for Arch are important. I could be wrong. By the way, Lance Tyndall, what number is Alex January? 97 is what number he's wearing today. DK. David Keith Williams mentions Ty Anthony Smith. He's out there as well. He's a really physical football player.
All right, so they're going to punt this ball, and Texas does have some nice kick return. Silas Bolden has the biggest kick return of the game.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Oh, get back on it. All right, so that was going to put the shutout in jeopardy for Silas Bolden. You know, that's on tape now, Rod. That's something you can't do against the Michigan Wolverines. Silas knows that.
Yo.
With a heady play by number 9 to jump on top of it.
Is that Gavin Holmes? Yeah. Good play.
I'm sure Sarkle mentioned that in the postgame. A couple of times the ball's been on the ground, and Texas has been the team to jump on it. Arch did it once. Now this, that would have prevented a touchdown, or at least an opportunity for them to score. Closest they've been to scoring a touchdown or getting points would have been that. But
guys,
there you go.
As a coach, you want.
Hey, we have almost 5,600 people on here. Thank you very much. Reminder, post-game show coming up. Bobby Burton, Rod Babers, Brian Robeson.
Oh, Brian. I'll be tuned in.
Running back, by the way. Here he goes.
Yeah, Ryan Niblett.
No, Ryan Niblett. We're in Rob B's old number, bringing the 21 back.
Hey, man, take it. Be the greatest 21 of all time.
He clearly watches this show. He changed his number last week, said, I want to be the greatest 21. Jordan Washington in the game at tight end, true freshman.
There you go. Arch Manning, of course, has led a couple of scoring drives, threw a touchdown, rushed for one on a quarterback sneak on a 4th down. Remind our audience, Jerry, of Ryan Niblett coming out of high school. What type of ball player?
Yeah, he was really raw because at Eisenhower, they needed him to be a jack of all trades to win games. He played quarterback, wildcat quarterback, running back, wide receiver, punter, and punt return. Glad he wasn't asked to do both at the same time. Kickoff return, emergency safety. So he's very raw prospect, but you only do that, Rod, if you're tough and physical.
Yeah, and if you're just a natural football player too. Guy's got great football instincts, great football acumen to move around different positions.
Oh, man. Hey, Rod, this looks like Roy freaking Williams.
Oh, there he goes. There he is. Jumping over people, hurdling dudes, throwing people down. There's Ryan Wingo fumbled the ball after being down, but there you go. And the throw again.
Roy.
Yeah, I did. I love the play concept too. The block, it was basically a stalk block and go. Kind of, he blocked the DB, then shedded him and went to the slant. I like the concept, and I like his physicality after the catch. That's what's underrated about Ryan Wingo's game. Look at it. The physicality after the catch.
Arch Manning, 5 for 5, 95 yards, by the way. QB rating at 326.
That ain't bad.
That's not, you'll take that.
Man, I feel like Ryan Wingo's got to play more.
Part of the best quarterback room in the country, right? Is that it? That's the best quarterback room in America. I think Oregon have a little bit of an argument, but still amazing. He's backing up in this day and age of college football to me. Amazing, not because we didn't think he would be because he's Arch Manning, but this offseason he could be the starting quarterback at Ohio State right now if he wanted to, Jerry. I mean, if that was his motivation, I mean, they'd open up that $20 million that Ryan Day, that war chest. But he wants to be right here in Austin, Texas. That speaks a lot about that.
Warren Roberson playing running back.
Oh,
here we go.
Nice.
Wow. Red Oak, Texas. That's a big time. He's a safety, right? Usually.
Yeah.
That's a change.
15 corner and 15 running back.
Wow. Interesting.
Okay, there you go. This is the time to get these reps in, Rod. We knew once CJ Baxter got hurt, and then certainly Christian Clark. I mean, this is the time to figure out who you can use because it's a long season.
Oh, sorry, that's Velton Gardner. It's not
okay.
Velton Gardner.
They put that on the
screen. That's SMU kid.
Yeah, they put it on the screen. Warren Roberson. I was like, what? That's Velton Gardner.
Okay, that makes
sense. Just got here from SMU. Okay, that makes more sense then.
That makes more sense. Okay. He had a good run though. That was a good run to start out.
It was.
Hey, UT boy, sorry I have missed your comments. I keep looking at the screen. I'm missing some comments as I'm looking at the screen, but it's your world.
Hey guys, Texas is going to get to 200 yards rushing here. They're going to have almost 600 total yards, but I know Coach Shipley was concerned with just the first half push. That's something I'm sure you'll hear Sark address afterwards. They're going to get to the 200-yard mark and have manufactured some of those, and it's against a tired Colorado State second half defense. But that's going to be a point of emphasis, obviously, getting ready for the Wolverines in 6 to 7 days now.
Yeah, Rod, I mean, it's pretty much out there what Michigan's going to try to do in this game against Texas. They're going to try to bully Texas, melt the clock, condense the game, and put a lot of pressure on the Texas offense.
Yeah, Texas, I imagine, will be in 40 personnel more than they've been in 40 personnel in a long time. And 40 personnel, for those who don't know, it's just when you got 4 DBs on the field, so 2 corners, 2 safeties. They won't have a nickel. Janae Barron, I'm assuming, will be that guy because you're going to deal with a lot of power sets, 12 personnel, 21 personnel, 22 personnel, 2 backs, 2 tight ends. Power football is what you're going to be facing. So you probably won't have access to your sub packages as much, unless you get them in 3rd and long, which would be great. If you get them in that situation, but early on, trying to win those first downs, as Jerry talked about, you're going to need your power sets, your 40 personnel. It's going to be interesting to see what linebackers they throw out there.
Hey guys, final 2:24 to go. There was the Parker Livingstone on the field there, the punt for the Longhorns, still trying to preserve that shutout. While we watch the final minutes here dwindle down, we talked about the Florida situation, the Clemson situation, Penn State. What about Miami, Jerry? I mean, that's the ACCs look like pretty rough so far, right? North Carolina State last night, Florida State lost to Georgia Tech. I mean, that's an ACC team, but the top of the conference. But Miami, I'm a believer. Cam Ward's there. Got the running back from Texas. I mean, Mario Cristobal looks like a pretty good looking team right now.
Well, and their schedule's very favorable after this game.
Yeah.
And look, they got here's the 2-minute timeout. They didn't get just a QB1. They got a RB1 out of the portal, Dabo. You're going to lose again to somebody who's gone portal. But here's the crazy thing about Miami this year. Cam Ward came down to Miami and Florida State. And that decision turned both of those 2 teams. Him going to Miami over FSU. FSU gets DJ Ugalele, who is just average college player, not an accurate quarterback. And Miami gets Cam Ward. That portal decision right there is going to be huge in the ACC race. Because Miami, I mean, look, we don't know if Florida's really terrible right now. Florida's still upper half of the SEC in talent. But that's a statement win for Mario today. And their schedule's really favorable.
100%. Yeah. That was one of the real tough early challenges. They're going to be a top 10 team and keep on plowing wins. They've got a good quarterback. And the Cam Ward story is amazing. I mean, he's from East Texas, right? I mean, the kid played like a option quarterback in high school at a small school and never really threw the ball. Then he gets to Incarnate Word and let him sling it around. And what do you know? This guy can be a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, he was out of West Columbia or Columbia High School, kind of down by Bay City on the way to Bay City and Sweeney out of the southwest part of Houston. But you're right, didn't throw it a lot. He actually trained with a former Friendswood, trained at quarterback instructor, Steve Van Meter, used to coach at Friendswood, who played for my dad. This is why I know the backstory there. And Coach Van Meter texted me years ago when Cam was, I think, a junior going into senior year in high school. He said, people aren't going to see it, but this kid has a chance to be really good because he's got it upstairs, along with the size and the arm talent. And so, yeah, he was out of Columbia High, used to be known as West Columbia. But he's, you know what, you talk about a guy going out and maximizing his talent, and Cam Ward's done a good job of it.
Well, here we go. Welcome to the 2-minute warning in college football, as Coach Shipley was talking about the further push towards the National Football League. And here we are with our 2-minute warning. That's a good time for me to tell you about our friends at Grande Equipment, our fourth quarter sponsor. Our buddy Wes and his team still rocking and rolling since, 2004. Still independent, still getting you the equipment you need. Whatever the size project, you're doing a major building project, they can do it for you. But they're independent, which means they're going to focus on you, making it happen. They specialize in all types of equipment rentals, sales, refurbishing. If you've got an old piece of equipment you want to bring it back to life, they do that as well. They are a local company, started in Dripping Springs, Texas. They're now down near San Marcos. Just needed more space. But Grande Equipment, your specialist for any equipment need. GrandeEquipment.com. That's GrandeEquipment.com. Best way to get them. They have a new app that you can download too. Appreciate them, Wes and the team at Grande Equipment. Our fourth quarter. Also want to thank Anthony Hippolito. Vote for Anthony for Hays County Sheriff. He's our second quarter sponsor. And spread-wise in the third quarter. And coming up on the post game, I'm sure a lot of happy people get to talk about Arch Manning, guys, get to talk about Qunn Ewers with a strong performance, and on to Ann Arbor, as we say, on to Michigan.
Well, and College Game Day and Fox Big Noon Saturday will be there. I mean, everybody's going to be there. Hey, by the way, we also have a big game in College Station tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, This is a big game. Not many times does a head coach get a chance to knock off a top 10 opponent his first game at home to really set the course for his program. So I know Texas, all the fans, there's 5,730 people in here right now. Thank you very much for supporting on Texas football. A lot of Notre Dame fans in this chat, I have a feeling. The big game tonight in College Station for the new A&M staff.
Yeah, I got 100%. The Aggies. The Aggies defense, I think, is going to be up to the task. Offense is what I think all the question marks are. I don't know about the offense. Colin Klein, he usually likes running quarterbacks. That's not Connor Wigman. Can the offensive line keep Connor Wigman clean enough? If they can, he actually can play at a really high level. I mean, they got him mocked as a first-round pick potentially. So if they can keep him clean, he's got some weapons out there too. And we'll see if Colin Klein can dial it up.
Yeah, Emmanuel, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. Great to have you with us here. 0 sacks today for Texas. Well, it's quick tough. Passing game. Quick passing game.
It's tough.
And we'll talk about it on the post-game show coming up, guys, for sure. I do too, Rod. I like the Aggies. I mean, we talked to an insider from Notre Dame, the coach, Brian Driscoll. He said that the starting offensive line tonight has 6 combined starts in their careers for Notre Dame. That's trouble on the road against 104,000 Aggies screaming, and think about Mike Elko. Nobody knows the quarterback better than Mike Elko. He coached him at Duke. Strength, weaknesses. I mean, he's gonna be able to throw some things there with a young offensive line. I like a low scoring kind of an ugly game tonight, but I would take the Aggies in a field goal too.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's a great stat, about the 6 starts between the offensive line, because Nick Scourton, he's a beast, man. The transfer from Purdue on the edge, he's one of the best pass rushers in the country. People will see that. And they got, was it Shamar Turner on the D-line?
Those are 2 NFL players. Those are 2 NFL dudes. And, that's the irony to me for Notre Dame is they've always been offensive line under Brian Kelly and Marcus Freeman. And this year, remember, they had 3 guys go to the NFL, and 2 of them were early, including Joe Alt, who was the 5th pick of the draft, right? And so they had a couple guys go early, and then their starting left tackle. I mean, Texas lost C.J. Baxter early in camp. Notre Dame lost their starting left tackle for the season in camp, and now, I mean, Nick Skirton could have a big night tonight. I mean, he could have a real big season debut. Remember, and you know this, Jerry, Skirton's a kid from College Station who ended up at Purdue but came back.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was a 3-star recruit, but a 4.5-star body coming out of high school, and he has built up that frame very nice. I think we see Wardell Mack in the game. By the way, freshman corner from Marrero High. There, same grew up right down the street from high school Terry Joseph went to. Terry Joseph did a good job flipping a guy from Florida. Xavier Filsamee's been in the game recently too. So a couple of Florida flips. We'll see. I don't know how DeAndre Robinson Saturday's gone from the sidelines, but probably not well.
Yeah, we're under a minute, and Rod, you're trying to preserve that shutout. Got to get that shutout.
I don't want to jinx it, man, but I think they got to get themselves a shutout to start the season. That's really impressive. Like I said, against any team, any level, but especially against a team that, they ran the air raid. They got a guy that'll play on Sundays in Torrey Horton, and to hold them, to 0 points and pretty much suffocate and smother this offense. I mean, they really didn't put together a sustained drive at all, really.
Well, here's the thing. We just got a horse collar, so they're going to have a shot at it.
Oh, son of a! I jinxed it. I shouldn't have said anything. I'm way too positive.
I made you. I walked you into that, Rod. That's my bad.
I jinxed it. Oh, man.
I don't like
by
that
the way,
call.
Somebody asked in the chat, Kobe Black's been in plenty here in the last quarter at corner.
Damn it.
I think that's a little bit of a ticky-tack horse collar, but I guess so. And the question is, will Jay Norvell kick a field goal just to not have the goose egg, or will he try to score the touchdown?
Yes. You should kick the field goals because you don't want to be shut out. Nope. You don't want that on the record books, Jay Norvell. Go ahead, get them points.
Get them points.
Wow, guys.
Son of a. What?
No, watch this one.
Okay. That's a catch.
I hope it's a good wow. Oh.
That's a hell of a play right there.
Wow.
I think he's inbounds. Look at that. Put him to sleep.
That's amazing.
Hey, the crowd's doing the Steph Curry. Put him to sleep, baby. Put him to sleep.
There you go. That's a great pick. He did throw 16. They threw the starting quarterback Nicolosi threw 16 interceptions last year, so he threw one. Now the backup threw another. So you got 2. That's pretty good.
Both were great plays. I mean, you took us through. That's going to be a catch.
Yeah,
maybe. What do you think?
I don't think they'll overturn that at this
That's
point.
a hell of a play. Wow.
Oh, by the way,
no.
people are saying this in the chat. I guess we have the turnover sword this year.
Nice.
They have a sword, a turnover sword. I haven't
There
seen
it
it.
is.
Rod, you really missed it, man.
I know the turnover sword. They got to get creative. I guess the turnover chain and the turnover.
Yeah.
All the different
There
things.
it is. There's the turnover.
Dang, that's like that's not even a sword. That's like the Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones saber. That thing. Oh, there you go. The Texas, the saber. That's awesome. 2 turnovers forced by Texas today. One on a brilliant play by Jade Barron, and now Wardell Mack.
I love
making
they
the
put the
play.
football on it. That's pretty badass. I like that. They put the
Yeah.
footballs on them. That's pretty cool.
Man, what a performance. Texas with a shutout. They're going to give up under 200 total yards for the game, only 11 first downs. Meanwhile, they're piled up 550 yards. And everybody's favorite formation in football, the victory formation for the Longhorns for the first time in 2024. Successful debut, gentlemen. 52-0 shutout. Got a lot of guys on the field. Doesn't look like any serious issues or injuries that we got to deal with and talk about. But you guys will be all over it in the post-game show. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks for a great job as always, Aaron Hogan. Thank 5,800 people on here. Thank you for supporting On Texas Football. Don't go anywhere. Rod Babers, Bobby Burton, Brian Robeson joins the post-game show. So we're talking about about this game, talking about all of it.
Speaking of guys from East Texas, B-Rob, he's going to like that shutout, Rod.
Hell
He's
yeah.
all over that. Hey, let's talk about some defense. Everybody wants to talk offense. We pitched a shutout today, and that was the strength of that Colorado State team was their offense, and they got 0. Goose egg. All right, guys, great. Thanks for the sponsors. Vote for Anthony Hippolito for Hayes County Sheriff, my good buddy. Grande Equipment, One Source Gas, and Spreadwise. Download that app for your elimination football leagues to start this week in the NFL. Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Hook 'em.